other officers in the crypt, I took off running upstairs towards the speaker's lobby and helped a plainclothes officer who was getting hassled by insurrectionists. Some of them were dressed like members of a militia group, wearing tactical vests, cargo pants, and body armor. I was physically exhausted, and it was hard to breathe and to see because of all the chemical spray in the air. More and more insurrectionists were pouring into the area by the speaker's lobby near the rotunda, and some wearing MAGA hats and shirts that said Trump 2020. I told them to just leave the Capitol, and in response they yelled, "No, man, this is our house. President Trump invited us here. We're here to stop the steal. Joe Biden is not the president. Nobody voted for Joe Biden." I'm a law enforcement officer, and I do my best to keep politics out of my job. But in this circumstance, I responded, "Well, I voted for Joe Biden. Does my vote not count? Am I nobody?" That prompted a torrent of racial epithets. One woman in a pink MAGA shirt yelled, "You hear that, guys? This nigger voted for Joe Biden." Then the crowd, perhaps around 20 people, joined in screaming, "Boo, fucking nigger." No one had ever called me a nigger while wearing the uniform of a Capitol Police officer. In the days following the attempted insurrection, other Black officers shared with me their own stories of racial abuse on January 6th. One officer told me he had never, and in his entire 40 years of life, been called a nigger to his face, and that streak ended on January 6th. Yet another Black officer later told me he had been confronted by insurrectionists in the Capitol who told him, "Put your gun down and we'll show you what kind of nigger you really are." To be candid, the rest of the afternoon is a blur. But I know I went throughout the Capitol to assist officers who needed aid and help expel more insurrectionists. In the crypt, I encountered Sergeant Pernell, who was giving assistance to an unconscious woman who had been in the crowd of rioters on the west side of the Capitol. I helped to carry her to the area of the House Majority Leader's office, where she was administered CPR. As the afternoon wore on, I was completely drained, both physically and emotionally, and in shock and total disbelief over what had happened. Once the building was cleared, I went to the rotunda to recover with other officers and share our experiences from what happened that afternoon. Representative Rodney Davis was there offering support to officers, and when he and I saw each other, he came over and he gave me a big hug. I sat down on a bench in the rotunda with a friend of mine who was also a Black Capitol Police officer and told him about the racial slurs I endured. I became very emotional and began yelling, "How the blank could something like this happen? Is this America?" I began sobbing. Officers came over to console me.
Welcome, guys. Good afternoon. So there's a lot going on with this.
Ken Paxton.
There's a lot going on with this, the right to vote, calling people out their name. When is it going to end? Are we going to divide ourselves and keep dividing ourselves? Are we going to keep arguing? Is it going to keep going on? It definitely looks like a lot of people are. Our arguments can be, what they want, but I feel like
right now there's a lot of talk about the people who are getting hospitalized and who are dying
sick,
from
no sick,
the COVID.
Vac, no vac. Who picked Biden? Who didn't?
They're the ones who are unvaccinated, right? Well, what about the unvaccinated people who've already had COVID? That's what I want to hear about, because everybody in my family who doesn't want to get a vaccine and who gets very defensive when we ask them why they don't get it, they say, well, I've already had COVID, so I'm protected. I got the plasma, I got the blah, 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 and I'm protected. Are they? I don't think so. What do you say?
Well, I've heard that very same thing. So thanks for that question, Charlie. You can probably guess I have a lot to say, but first, it's really important that we have a qualified medical professional to answer your question. Take a listen.
Yes, even those who've been previously infected with coronavirus should get vaccinated. Studies have shown that those who have been previously infected and received just one dose of Pfizer or Moderna had an immune response comparable to those who had been uninfected and had received 2 doses. In addition, we know that natural immunity probably lasts for about 6 to 8 months, whereas immunity from vaccination may last 1 year or even longer. And finally, with the emergence of concerning variants like Delta, we know that the currently authorized vaccines provide effective and safe coverage against severe disease. So because of all of those 3 reasons, I strongly encourage those with previous coronavirus infection to get vaccinated.
All right, there you have it. Even if you've had COVID, get vaccinated. The numbers don't lie, people. More than 97% of those who are hospitalized for COVID are unvaccinated, and that's according to the CDC. And more than 99% of those dying are unvaccinated. You don't want to be one of them? Get vaccinated. Look, Charlie, your family members are not alone in their hesitancy. Vaccination rates have remained stubbornly low, even as cases rise, while recent data shows that over 2/3 of unvaccinated adults believe some kind of conspiracy theory or myth about the vaccines. And look, it's not hard to understand why. I mean, you consider Fox News, which reaches more than 2 million viewers a night. 2 million viewers who have spent months listening to anti-vax and anti-mask and anti-intellectual garbage. But then earlier this week, Sean Hannity goes viral for this.
Please take COVID seriously. I can't say it enough. Enough people have died, and it absolutely makes sense for many Americans to get vaccinated. I believe in science. I believe in the science of vaccination.
The most sensible thing I've ever heard him say. And I don't know if it'll be helpful to your family, Charlie, but sometimes it does take meeting people where they are. And you can also tell them what Republican governor of one of the reddest and least vaccinated states also had to say this week.
Folks supposed to have common sense. But it's time to start blaming the unvaccinated folks, not the regular folks. It's the unvaccinated folks that are letting us down.
What this virus has taught us is common sense ain't that common. But bottom line, get your vaccine, folks. Even if you've had COVID, even if you think you're not at risk, this cannot be said enough. And keep engaging your vaccine hesitant loved ones. I've done that, and I've been slightly successful. Listen to their concerns and correct misinformation.
It's never going to happen. I'm never going to take it.
We're all in this together.
Never going to take it. Never going to take it. Never going to take it. Is that going to be our argument, though? Because I really feel like that's going to be our fight. It's going to be who hasn't been vaccinated and who has. And if you don't care about what they're saying, then they're not going to care about what you're saying. It's ridiculous, guys. And this one's not too bright. Like, how can you guys depend on what your guy says? This is your guy.
The oldest US president in history, he's losing it. But I reckon this issue is really too serious.
He's losing it, and you're believing him and everything they're saying. How can you just believe what somebody's saying? If I die of something, then I'm going to die of it.
Is it? Or perhaps just taking
never had the flu vaccine. I'm not dead yet.
Biden brain phase out of context. Pieces of video like this one.
So the best way to get something done, if it holds near and dear to you that you like to be able to, anyway.
He don't even know.
We're going to get a lot done.
Now, this all came to a head for me last week when Joe Biden did an hour-long question and answer on CNN. Now, for a lot of the time, and I don't think people have been fair on this point, there was no real trouble. No real trouble. He was answering fluently for him. But you couldn't ignore moments like these, for instance, answers to simple questions like, When will children under 12 get vaccinated?
And I've heard you speak about it because you always, I'm not being solicitous, but you're always straight up about what you're doing. And the question is whether or not we should be in a position where you are, why can't the experts say, we know that this virus is in fact, it's going to be, or excuse me, we know why all the drugs approved are not temporarily approved, but permanently approved.
That doesn't seem quite right to me, but let's ask an expert.
It doesn't
Joining me
seem
is
right to me
psychiatrist
either.
and author,
And then
Tanvi
you're
Ahmed.
believing
Tanvi,
them.
It's great to catch up. Look,
I
know
can't.
that you can't diagnose someone just from a few video clips. You need the full range of tests and all that kind of thing. But looking at grabs like that and others that we've run over the last year or two, do you see anything that makes you think, well, something is not quite right?
Look, I think it's absolutely reasonable to raise concerns. I mean, look, it's understandable, age 77, the oldest president, these concerns would be raised. I mean, similar thing was raised when Reagan was in power. Some of the key early signs of dementia, Andrew, is short-term recall, losing track of your thoughts, and we're seeing some key examples there. Sometimes just what's called confabulating, where they're almost making up stories. And Joe Biden actually has a history of that in recent years. On the campaign,
I think a lot of people have that
deals
disease.
he'd done or trips he'd made overseas while as a member, as a representative, and he just didn't do them at all. Like sometimes they were well before he was even in Congress or he was in a supposed position. He refers to Kamala Harris as president sometimes. So he definitely shows some signs of short-term
Yeah,
memory
she's going to
loss,
be president. Watch.
confabulation. And look, he does have a bit of history. Just thinking about his medical history, he's had 2 blood aneurysms 20 odd years ago, just over 20 odd years ago. Now that suggests he may have some vascular disease.
I'm good. Thanks for asking. I just came across this information this morning and I wanted to share with people.
Reflux, which sometimes,
do you think your vote counts?
Explains his hoarse voice.
Do you think Swampy Joe is really capable of giving out orders?
At the age of 75, Andrew, almost.
And is it vac or no vac? Are we going to go against each other?
And with Joe Biden, you definitely get, I don't think it's unreasonable to ask the question. Now, it could be the debate.
I think people need to stop fighting each other. Vac or no vac, we're still human. And we have that right.
That as you age, you can just get little bouts of short-term memory loss. But as long as it's not sustained, you can say, okay, no, he's still got a clean.
What if that vac is doing that?
The other problem with Joe Biden is,
or maybe Swampy Joe's just weird.
Worse in the last sort of 12, 18 months. And that is a feature of dementia where you're kind of seeing a steady, gradual decline. So there's some big questions. I don't think it's unreasonable to raise these questions. We should give a bit of a historical backdrop here.
But what I ask you too then is, so what? I mean, look, to underline, I am taking clips from interviews where for the most part, there's no problem at all, right? It's talking fine and then suddenly, boom, the memory goes. So what is actually the problem, even like with early dementia, for instance, are you actually fine? Is your judgment still perfectly okay? Once you get back your train of thought, you recollect that, oh yeah, that's where I was going, or are you really not quite up to the job?
Depends what stage of it is. The early signs can be short-term memory loss, but also really in terms of trying to take in the complex concepts and taking large amounts of information, which a president would be expected to do, that would be extremely difficult for him. I mean, he was able to get through some of the debates, through whether it be Bernie Sanders and through the sort of Democratic campaign and obviously later Trump. So he sort of just hung in there. So you get the feeling he's almost just holding on, which can be a feature of dementia,
which is dangerous for the country.
Sort of just hold on. And I think there's a bit of that going on with Joe Biden. It'll become clearer probably in the next 12, 18 months. I do think if there was clear signs of dementia, you'd probably see his inner brass, sitting with him meetings all day, etc. Kamala Harris and some of his close
that
aides,
could be dangerous.
I think would become very clear to them fairly rapidly. And you may well see some leaking. I mean, you can imagine Kamala Harris is, she'd be in prime position in the event.
Don't even go. Stop terrifying my audience there, Tanvir. I don't think we're ready to even contemplate.
Be terrified. Be very terrified.
You're quite right.
If you're just falling into a trap of people telling you what to do and you don't think for yourself.
Very light load, but anyway, we shall see.
Everybody knows they got sick in January and February, and then that crap came. Everybody's been getting sick, and you know, you don't know what it is. Where did the flu go? And all of a sudden the flu is gone. Like, that's crazy. That's hella crazy. And then they're not answering questions. They're just avoiding things. And they're just like, get it, get the vac, get the vac.
Madam Chair, my first
outta
question
here.
for Dr. Walensky. As a physician,
And then people are running around like, oh, if you don't have your card, you can't go in the store. I mean, why are you judging people?
Maybe 50% of children have already had the COVID virus.
See?
What are the additional benefits to the vaccine to a child who's already had the virus?
I think it very much depends on what the variant that child might have had, whether they could potentially be infected or reinfected. And, you know, one thing I just want to note with the children is I think we fall into this flawed thinking of saying that only 400 of these 600,000 deaths from COVID-19 have been in children. Children are not supposed to die. And so 400 is a huge amount for a season.
I don't know who many people would say anybody's supposed to die, though. No one's supposed to die. And yet you're clearing people out. You did it with the old people, now you did it with us, now you're doing it with the children. Like, come on.
Over 400.
Without health
that I
conditions?
don't
So
know.
I think the answer is probably 0. So I think if you take a deep dive, most of the children that have died had some type of underlying health condition. Dr. Fauci, in my hand is a three-dimensional printing of the COVID spike, something that's certainly a scientific, just baffles me in so many ways. That it's composed of 2 units, as you know. There's an S2 subunit and an S1, and I'd like to talk about the S2 subunit for a second. Can you explain the significance of the furin cleavage site, the double arginine CGG codon, if you would, and how that works clinically for us?
Yeah, thank you for that question, Senator. The furin cleavage site is a site of a set of amino acids, which is at the point where the enzyme furin can cleave it so that the virus can then bind to the receptor cell and then enter the cell. So it is seen on a number of viruses. It's been seen it's on the SARS-CoV-2, and it's also seen on other beta coronaviruses. You asked also about the double CGG codon.
Right.
That is a codon, again, that is unusual, but it is also seen on a number of beta coronaviruses. It is not a very common codon for the amino acid in question, but it is seen in coronaviruses.
Dr. David Baltimore, a Nobel laureate, I'll quote him here. When I first saw the furin cleavage site in the viral sequence with its arginine codons, I said to my wife, it was the smoking gun for the origin of the virus. These features make a powerful challenge to the idea of a natural origin for SARS-2. And again, this is Nobel laureate Dr. David Baltimore saying this.
Right.
Would you agree or disagree with Dr. Baltimore?
Well, Dr. Baltimore, who is an extraordinarily accomplished scientist, has backtracked on that statement and says, I wish I had not used the word smoking gun, when it was pointed out to him that actually this is seen in a number of coronaviruses, including one of the common cold coronaviruses. So I believe if you would ask.
So you disagree with him?
Well, I agree with his second statement where he backtracked and said he wished he had not used.
So you disagree with his first statement, though?
And he disagrees with his first statement.
Okay, he's not going to answer the question. We also have the S1 subunit, and I
He's
refer
not
to the
answering the
timeline
question.
behind me here.
Anybody who doesn't answer a question, diverting from the truth.
Function in 2014, and I think you'll agree with me that the NIH funded research that led to this an S1 spike that looks very similar, if not exactly, to what's on the COVID-19 spike.
What are you referring to, Senator? Can you please be more specific?
Yeah. So I'm talking about the S1 subunit of the current COVID-19 spike.
Yeah, what about it? I mean, are you talking about an experiment? Are you talking about a paper that was published?
So I'm talking about viral research that was done using NIH funding with the North Carolina lab, and Dr. Shi developed this S1 subunit spike that looks exactly like what we have on the current COVID-19 spike.
Yeah.
Is that not true?
No, I'm not sure exactly what you're referring to. Are you referring to the paper of Barrick and Shi in Nature Immunology? Is that what you're referring? I need to know specifically.
Yeah, so Dr. Barrick and Shi printed studies on this S1 unit.
Go
that
ahead,
was basically
Senator
the
Marshall.
Development of the key to the door that was specifically took the original SARS virus and made it so it would bond to the human lung cells.
Yep.
No, there was no game.
Yep. There it is, guys. So SARS, and then they upgraded, and then they told you it was the Kamanuka Luka, and you're going for it. Good luck with that. You believe these people, and you ain't never met them, but you going off of what they're saying for your own health and safety, for you and your children. Something wrong with that too.
If you're talking about a paper that was
Because
written,
he doesn't even know what he's talking about, okay? He doesn't even know what he's talking about. They're always going back and forth. This might be this and that might be that. But guys, come on, guys. Let's really get into this. They want you to fight over who's taking the vac and who's not. That's what they want you to do. And again, how can you tell somebody to do something? And this is who we're watching. This person. You're believing this person.
Why can't the experts say we know that this virus is in fact it's going to be, or excuse me, we know why all the drugs approved are not temporarily approved but permanently approved.
Are there people who in the Democratic Party who want to fight their president?
Are there people in the Republican Party who think we're sucking the blood out of kids?
These are signs of senility, which is a common thing in elderly people. And I can't believe that people who see that, who are not already committed to him in one way or another or committed against him, don't look at that and find it alarming.
With our most popular president in the history of America, 81 million votes. Remember, guys, I say that facetiously.
And a half-full CNN audience. They couldn't even fill a small auditorium.
Look at this.
Right, that's exactly right. But I mean, the reality is it's only taken 6 months for Joe Biden alongside Kamala Harris to really start to run America straight into the ground. You see how quickly you have had gas prices skyrocketing, massive inflation. The reality is that we are paying people to stay home instead of going to work. Small businesses are having a really hard time coming back right now. We are looking weak now in the eyes of not just our adversaries, but our allies around the world. We have had at least 1 million illegal immigrants flow over our southern border, and that's just that we know of. Now, 6 months into the Biden-Harris administration. So no, I am not surprised that the majority of the American people are pessimistic about the future of America. And how sad, because it wasn't too long ago under President Trump that this was all reversed. It was the other way. People were very optimistic. There were jobs flourishing. We felt very positive about the future of America. And now here we are. So really sad, but again, not surprising. We kind of knew if you gave the reins to a man like Joe Biden, who has a hard time figuring out exactly where he is, this is the result.
I'm concerned about the direction of the country. Unbelievable, guys. Unbelievable. This is what I'm saying. What are we supposed to believe? You want to believe in somebody. I can't take them serious. I'll show your art. That's amazing, Chris. That was amazing. I like that. I like that. Thank you for sharing that. And you guys need to like and subscribe to Chris Find Out, Break the System. Christopher Fernandez and art. I love it. I love it. I'll give it a thumbs up. I'll even like it in your comment section. That was amazing. Thank you for sharing. Because again, these are the things that we're going through, guys. It's just so crazy. I can't even wrap my head around vac or no vac. People want to say we're supposed to be, together. Run a country. Creepy Joe couldn't run a bath. I know. He can't even run his own bath water. People are in the streets fighting over gas and fighting over water and again fighting over who's got their mask on and if you got your vac or you don't got the vac. What the heck? If I don't want to take the vac, there's nothing you can do to me. I don't care if you don't like me. I don't care. I'm not taking something and putting it in my body that I don't know what's in it and I don't know where it came from. So they're having live, basically, they're having a hearing at the House committees, holding a hearing about the January 6th Capitol attacks. So now they're charging these people for, the criminal acts that they were doing, which, again, is it an act? Is it something that they've come up with? Because it just seems like they just come up with stuff and then we're supposed to be like, oh, okay, that's how they're doing it. I'm just not naive to things. I don't trust anything. I'll give you the chance. Once I see it, then I see it for myself. And I see people changing after they get this, this vac. They really are. They're changing. They don't look the same. They're not acting the same. Oh, you're welcome, darling. You're welcome. Like and subscribe to Christopher Fernandez art, guys. He's from the Philippines and he's got some good art. Break the system. I like it. We should all start a group. Break the system. What can we change to do better? How can we help? We the people. That's what it's supposed to be. And yet it's not. It's not we the people because we should be making our own decisions. You shouldn't want somebody to make decisions for you. That's not what America's about. We stand on freedom and just in our word. And his word is not bond. You cannot depend on Sleepy. He's sleeping right now. He's in one of those little machines that, basically is keeping him incubated until he comes out. He's not. And then he keeps talking about the vice president. So how is the vice president the president? And that's what he keeps saying. I'm trying to find this one clip that he was talking about her and he was talking about her as the president. Come on. This stuff is getting out of hand and everybody's going for it. I literally had a discussion with somebody yesterday and they're telling me I need to take the vac. And I'm I'm not taking it. And then it's just well, what are we going to do if you don't take it? How can we convince you to take it? So a person with the vac is trying to convince me to take it. That sounds like you're already programmed. You're like already programmed. You're like, just take it. You can do it. Nope. I raised my fist. I'm proud to raise my fist online and on the streets during the State of the National Address. I agree. That is a true activist, darling. I do the best I can. Welcome back. I do the best I can, but people don't want to hear. They don't want to see. They don't want to acknowledge. They don't want to understand. Let's take a look and be nosy about the Capitol, though. I ain't gonna lie.
Instead of engaging and shooting, he gave up ground. Because understand, under U.S. code, our mission for Capitol Police is to protect the members of Congress, not the building.
We went towards a ornate hallway. That's where this lone police officer had finally received backup.
This is our America. This is our country. Boom.
After talking with several black
I can't
police
even be
officers,
mad.
on the
What do we
department,
argue with?
all
What
the
do we
racial
go with?
slurs
We
that
want
they had to
justice.
endure,
We want
these
peace.
criminals
They want us
that
to
were
be
targeting
quiet.
them
We can't be
specifically
quiet
because they were
anymore.
racist. You saw the flags that they were flying.
They're looking at a potential suspicious device near the Capitol Power Plant. That's at the 300 block of First Street, and the possibility of another device, bombs, and people breaking into the Capitol. And that lethal cocktail, that lethal mix, scares the hell out of me.
These devices were actually IEDs, they were bombs, and they didn't detonate, but they were found. And that adds a whole different level of danger to what was happening on January 6th.
I am seeing some police officers trying to move in, Tom, and the situation here is getting a little bit tense. People right now are actually screaming at us.
You're all friggin' fake news. You're all pieces of you're traitors to America.
The House will be in order.
We got a lot of traitors in
Something was really
America.
wrong when leadership was taken out. I didn't see them take Speaker Pelosi, but I saw them grab Majority Leader Hoyer and drag him out as if he was under threat. Motion to a couple of members of Congress, and I told them to get ready. Something was about to go down.
We had heard that the rioters had breached the Capitol building. It was at that moment that I realized that we had lost control.
You've
The
been
House
lost
goes
control.
into
You never
lockdown.
had control.
At that point, it's being reported on television.
We the
president
people,
still hasn't
guys.
done anything.
When are we
Mark
gonna stand
Meadows
up and
picks
fight?
Up the phone, calls Ivanka Trump, who's upstairs in her
When they're
second
taking
floor
your
office of the
children?
West Wing, and Meadows basically says to Ivanka, "You got to get down here. You got to talk to him. He's got."
They're already exploiting children.
We went to Nancy
And
Pelosi's
some of
office
you
where we
guys are
filmed
okay
her.
with that. I'm not
Her
okay with it.
nameplate being,
I'm gonna
dragged
fight
down
everybody
when,
out here that believes in freaking destruction and mayhem. We need humanity to stand up for each other
we
and
were there
fight
and
for
people were
each other,
chanting,
not
"Our
because of the
house,
color
our
of our
house,
skin,
stop the
because
steal."
we're human.
And the Trump supporters were incredibly angry and very vocal.
Shout out to Trump.
It was
Freedom!
as if the lunatics had taken over.
Hell no, we're the same ones. Y'all don't lost your rabbit ass
It
minds.
was through the action of.
Why are
I
you
assume,
listening to
sort of the
other
local
people and
commander
not
of that little
listening to
group
your intuition,
who
not
very
listening to
calmly,
yourself?
was able to
We might
calm
not
them
act
down
like
and have a
this,
conversation.
but when are we going to come together and really collaborate and fight for real that makes change? I'm not approving of it. It's what they wanted to do. If this was African Americans, we would have been arrested, though. Just saying. They would have never sat here and talked to us like this. They would have arrested us immediately. Matter of fact, they would have shot us before we even got through them doors.
Horrifying. That place was symbol of
But
the
they allowed
stability,
all this. They allowed all
order, and
this.
decency.
They allowed it. Now they're
Our
going to put these
democracy
people in
was
jail?
wild.
That's right,
and
Chris.
dangerous.
Give them the fist, Chris.
This is an ABC News special report. Now
You don't think they're getting content and clout off of this too?
Coming back on the air right now because we were just learning that those protesters you saw on the Capitol steps just moments ago have now breached the Capitol, are now inside the Capitol.
A lot of the right wingers that were inside of the Capitol were just live streaming it. We were literally watching them go through the Capitol like tourists. We were watching the cops just let them walk through. And I know all I could think the whole time was, like, if this was us, we would have been dead on the stairs.
See? I said it. We would have been dead before we got through that door. They'd have shot us. And don't say it's not because we're not black.
There were different types of
That's
people.
bullshit.
Some of
You
them
can
had
suck
very
an
specific
egg.
ideas. They were looking for Pelosi or
Because if
Schumer
that was
or anybody
African
else, and
Americans
others were
fighting
just
for
sort of
our
like
freedom,
wandering around
fighting for our rights,
like
we
a
would have been
report, and
shot
then going to the police and saying,
before we
"How
got
do I
on the
leave?"
damn
They are
property.
just steps away from the chamber, right
And
there.
they
That
call
image,
us weak.
That is literally just
Our men
one
are
room
weak,
away
and
from
they
the
need to
chamber
stand
floor.
up and fight.
You have this really
And not with guns at each
astounding
other.
breach of security with protesters now roaming freely, it appears, through
Let's
the
fight
halls
the
of the
laws.
Capitol.
Let's fight something that makes sense.
It was this
Let's
feeling,
start
it's that
building
mob control
together
feeling
team
that just
organizations
welled up in them.
of
You could tell
real
we're in
health and
charge.
growth.
We're
Let's
gonna
build
take
our
charge.
communities.
It's our
Let's
house
give out
now.
water and food. If you're a teacher, give out education. We don't need the system to raise ourselves or to protect ourselves. We don't need to be governed by idiots.
These people were serious. There would be an attempted lynching of the democracy.
Oh, please. We needed to bin lynch the democracy. There is none. Because again, if that was African American people, they would have blew that whole damn yard
set
up.
for Joe Biden and Kamala Harris inauguration, where they will be sworn in 2 weeks. They were all over
Blessings,
the place.
friendly.
No one was talking about the pandemic.
That's right. Stop the killing. We've got to fight for our freedom, Chris. We got to fight for our rights. We the people. What does that mean to you
When I
guys?
looked out my window,
It's always
you
meant
could
something to
see
me. I govern myself.
And you could also hear the flashbangs going off in the distance. And
And you're not going to turn me down because I don't take the vax.
Going up.
In any remotely normal situation, the president would be on national television right now,
Yep.
appealing for calm.
Yep. They acted this. This was, they allowed this.
Please support our Capitol Police and law enforcement. They are truly on the side of our country. Stay peaceful.
And they tried to say that he didn't stop it, that he didn't say nothing. Right there is proof.
Barricades being broken.
Look at
people
this. Look at
storming
this
the
messiness.
Capitol.
Chris Turner inside the Capitol. What are you seeing in the halls right now?
The leadership was escorted out, but the members are.
And that's
on
your
the floor.
opinion. Maybe you need governed. I don't know. I don't need nobody telling me what to do. I know how to act.
Doors that had been opened.
I don't need to do
were suddenly
something. It's not what
closed.
you
A
do in
police
somebody's
officer
face.
would
It's what
walk
you
them
do
and
away
barricade them
from
with,
them.
like a metal
And I've
pole
noticed
through the
all of
double
you when
handle.
you're away
Law
from
enforcement
somebody
draws
else,
their
how you
weapons
act
as
like
rioters
something
try to
else.
force their
So
way
if you
in.
need somebody to govern you because you don't know how to
front
act,
door of the House of
good
Representatives.
luck with
And
that.
That's when you started hearing people gasping.
Because I'll
and,
do it in your
you know,
face.
some
I'll do it
screams,
behind your
but
back.
the
If I
really
got
big
something to
fan
say, I'll say it
was
to your
when
face.
security came
I'm not
back
afraid,
up
and I don't
said,
sit
need you to all
around
take
with
off your
liars
gas
and
masks
thieves
and get
either.
them ready.
And we're being instructed to each of us get gas masks that are under our seats.
And that's when real panic ensued.
Maybe 20 Capitol Police officers who were left in the House chamber. I saw them locking all the doors, taking furniture, starting to barricade the doors with us inside. And it was at that moment that I realized that we were trapped.
Yeah,
Everybody started.
they did
calling
that
their
on
loved
purpose.
Ones. We were FaceTime.
Look at them. Fear.
I tried to reassure them.
Fear
I
is the
said,
number
"We're
one
going to be
problem in
evacuated. I'm
America. Can
okay."
anybody not say
But I'm not
that
out of
they've
here yet.
created fear?
All of a sudden, you
Fear.
start hearing pounding.
Fear. We're helpless. We need help. Oh, help us. We can't work. We can't feed our kids. We can't do this. Yeah, right. I'm taking it by storm. So again, get ready because the revolution is not going to be televised.
I was looking for weapons,
But I'll damn sure be a part of it.
chairs are all,
Because while y'all sitting around wondering why they're taking your kids, making your children underage take a vac that you don't even know what's in it, better watch.
Hey guys, I have a knife.
My heart was pounding so fast that it felt like it was.
Yeah, people need to raise their children and stop expecting people to raise their children. Use
Jason
discipline,
Crow
use
was
morals,
behind
use
me and
values.
took
What
my
happened to
hand and
those?
was kind of stroking my hand.
Everybody's
Took a
moral
moment to
compass is out the
comfort her
window.
and
Like,
tell her
get
that
your
I
life.
would be there for her.
Get
if-
your
if
life
needed.
together. Put your morals and values together, and then explain to
and
your
just started yelling
children
people
why
to
you're
go
acting like
in
an
that
idiot.
direction. You know, one of the things they taught us in the Marine Corps is to be affirmative with your movements and your voice, especially when people are freaking out. And
I
so
totally
started
agree,
shouting
Friendly.
to the gallery
Totally
and trying
agree.
to get them to move.
Because, you know, people who don't have parents,
We got
where
word
do they
that
get
a special
instructions
tactics unit
from?
SWAT team
They
had
got to
cleared a
get it
path
from a
basically
community.
to
And if the
the
community's
mob.
not raising their children right, then people are learning the wrong way to do things.
Told us to run
But
as
we
fast as
still
we
should
could,
have our
rushed,
own
down to
opinions.
the
We still
hallway,
should have
down the
council
stairs,
meetings in our
into the
communities.
underground
We
tunnels
should
and
have a
to the
say.
secure location.
I remember those days. Council meetings were very high back in the day. They're not going on like that. The mayor has no clout.
Member of Congress in 2021.
What's the sense of being a mayor in a
US
town that
Capitol,
nobody gives a shit
what
about
should
you?
be one of the most secure buildings in the world would have to be preparing to take a stand and fight my way
It
out
wasn't.
of the House chamber from a violent mob.
It wasn't. It was not the most secure place. It's not. There is no secure place in America. There's nowhere in America that you feel safe. Come on. Come on. Don't sit up here and act like you can't even go out your house without somebody trying to rob you, trying to do something to you. You know, come on. Let's just keep it all the way, honey. We've had problems in America long before this, and we always sugarcoat it. It's always supposed to be, oh no, we have a reason why we're doing something. You know, it's just really funny. Let's see. So I got to move this around because I got one more thing and then I'm out of here, guys. I just wanted to show, again, opinions matter. But hey, guys, are we going to fight over who's going to take the vac and who's not? Like, that's what it's coming down to.
COVID-19
People are really
cases
acting
are
weird.
rising
They're
in
acting
Florida,
real
and that's
funny.
driving up hospitalizations.
Love can cure
Glad you're with us
everything, but
tonight
people
on
don't want to
Maddow.
love
I'm
because they
Ginger
don't know
Gaff,
how.
and Lisa Bell has the
They
night
taking
off.
that from us
You can
too.
see that rise in patients right
Love is
here.
not
These
a
are the
fucking
most
video.
recent numbers released by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. They show more than 6,000 Floridians were hospitalized as of Saturday. The CDC estimates more than 97% of those hospitalized for
true.
COVID-19 since
It's true,
January
Friendly.
are not
It's very
vaccinated.
sad.
Now, some of those patients who are fighting for their lives in hospitals across the U.S. and right here in
Very
Florida
true.
say they wish they had gotten
I'll
the
drop the
vaccine.
link. I'll
For
let you
some,
guys, if you
it is
guys got
already too
three,
late.
the
News
5
6's
minute
Tori Campbell
things to
joins us
say
now
about
live
what
from
I've
the
talked
Orange
about
County
today
Administration
only,
Building.
you're
And
welcome
Tori,
to come up here
hospitals
and
in
speak
Central
your
Florida
piece.
are starting to fill up again.
I only want to talk about the subjects that we're talking about.
So much so that Orange County Mayor Jerry Deming says the next 24 to 48 hours is pivotal for the county, saying they are, quote, on crisis mode. Now, with hospitalizations, we are hearing from doctors and patients alike saying that they are hearing from people that they wish they had gotten a vaccine before becoming
Congratulations.
Right before he was about to be
intubated.
Hi. I wish I had
Priceless.
received the vaccine.
Hold your family
Dr.
members.
Victor Herrera with Advent Health, saying with the vast majority of their COVID-19 patients.
Welcome, brother. Welcome.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. All right. First and foremost, I want to say what's up to everybody in the chat. Secondly, don't go by the BS, the everyday BS that's happening in the media, the fifth estate. Because all they're gonna do is to continuously scare you into thinking that you had to take the vaccine for their specific purposes, which actually you don't. You don't have to do anything you don't want to. Here's the problem with government. The government is designed to create these specific laws for you so you won't have the ability to think for yourself. You're not allowed to think, you're not allowed to react.
Right.
You're doing what's best. They're doing what's best for you. You don't know what's best for me individually.
Exactly.
And it's also a kind of funny thing that elderlies are the first person to speak up. Elderlies are the first person to speak up, and there's the first elderlies, the ones to get the vaccination. Why do you need 2 vaccinations and a pill? I might add, because the first vaccination doesn't do anything. The second vaccination may put you in a some type of a critical state, depending upon your situation. If you have diabetes, suffering from diarrhea effects, if you're suffering
Underlying
from
conditions, yeah.
underlying conditions, whatever the case may be. So everybody's different. Different stroke for different folks. In the NFL, it is basically mandatory.
Yep.
If you don't take it, it's going to be quite difficult for you, because you might have to travel by yourself, because it's going to affect their bottom line. The NFL is a $1 billion industry, $1 billion industry, same as the NBA. But normal people outside of sports, they have what's called, they have actual freedom. Well, it's not really freedom. You have to be dumb to be free. But people have actual freedoms in this country to do whatever the hell they want to do. But most people are scared. You know what I'm gonna be real with you. Do you know what the actual virus actually does to you? It's supposed to get rid of the DNA, your original DNA that you have in your body, because this vaccination is unknown, supposedly. That's a damn lie, because COVID's been around for years. COVID's been around for fucking years. But they want to get rid of your Coco's been around for years, so they want to get rid of your little DNA, the original DNA, and plant their own DNA. Change it to their own DNA. Whatever the fuck it is, they wanted to change it to your own DNA. So if you have, say you have a cell phone, right? You can compute your own fucking cell phone, because you have the actual you have the actual antibody stuck in you. Technology at best.
Friendly, how you doing?
I'm all right.
You got an opinion about any of these subjects? Do you think that we have our votes count? Do you think people are arguing over vac or no vac? And do you think Swampy Joe is leading the world in a good way, or United States anyway? Just us weirdos. But what do you think?
The honest truth is, man, there's a lot going on in this world. We could sit here talk about a vaccine all day, and people don't even have the proper knowledge to the vaccine. We're just doing assumption, and basically we're more on the side of what is that word that I'm looking for? I actually forgot. We dealing with conspiracies and all this and all the above. You know, we're talking about a government that we had a history with. So anything that becomes with this government, we're never gonna believe in and whatever, which is fine. But what I wanted to speak about, it's basically, you know, how people say that we don't need no government and nobody. Well, I think that's wrong, and some people are wrong when they say that, because if people in the community can't even, let's say, govern their own kids, they can't even control their kids.
Right.
How are they going to control and protect the community? You understand? These are things that I
definitely.
I hear people talk about, oh, we don't need no police, we don't need no this, or we don't want police in our community. But just think about it. Why? I'm insane. So what would be the reason you don't want people governing your community if your community is going to eventually even kill themselves even more? You understand? Like right now, if you think about it, in New York, the crime rate has went up skyrocket. You know, it's crazy. You know, and I've been in the streets for so many years. But for what's going on now, a lot of people, oh no, it's been going on before, or this is what they never reported. No, my brother, A lot of us just talk shit because we being biased and we want to be like, you know what? We black and we this and we that. You know what I'm saying? But the reality is, bro, and our community is going down the drain. You know what I'm saying? And it's sad to say, and I'm sorry to say that to anyone, but our community is going down the drain. You know, you have people protesting and fighting for all these other things and not wanting no police in the community and no bails for these kids or for anybody for these type of crimes and all that. Look what has happened in the black community, in the Latino community. Those have backfired. Remember, those people who maybe stood out there and protested and came up with this shit, most of these people don't have the worries that you have. Some of these people don't live in the environment that you live in. So they'll be like, okay, you don't want no police in your community? We're going to fight for that. They're not thinking about the consequences and the things that could go wrong. Look, there's a lot more rape going on, a lot of child molestation going on, a lot more robbery, burglary, home invasion, murder. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is insane. You understand? So, so to me, I look at it, when our people ask for shit like this, that's just a reason or an excuse for us to be able to do what the fuck we want to do and nobody tell us what to do, because we believe in that type of freedom. The reality is the fight is not just about equally rights and stuff. It's just about being able to do what the fuck you want to do. You get what I'm saying? Look, you got 16-year-old girls out there pregnant. You understand? Like, should a 16-year-old girl be pregnant already or on her way to give birth? You know, at that age, she still hasn't even learned life yet. You understand? There's a lot of things she's aware of life or herself, anything. Don't have a clue. And it's crazy how people be like, you know, people be wanting, but there's no backup plan. You know, we'll be like, the government needs to do this. But listen, the government needs to do a lot, but us as the people need to do more. You understand? We're the ones that live in this community, in this area. It's not the government that lives here. So, you know, if you see your community going down, you're supposed to bring it up. You understand?
Together in the community,
Exactly. If you see something falling or breaking, as people in the community should stand together and figure a way out how to prevent this from breaking or falling, how to fix it. But we don't. We just intend to ignore it, and then we talk about the white man. The white man. Dude, forget about the white man. You understand what I'm saying? Let's worry about us. How we going to build? There's communities out there, but most of us just talk to talk. There's communities where they in some places, in some states or different places, they call it different names. Over here in New York, it's called Build the Block, Help to Build the Block, and all this other shit. We got all that stuff.
That's cool. We don't even have any of that.
They be having meetings and stuff like that, where, like you said, your opinions do matter, whatever. But nobody shows up.
Nobody shows up, right?
No one shows up. But when things go wrong in the community, the first thing we do, we blame the police. Like the pandemic hit. Us as blacks and Latino, you know what I'm saying, have an issue with understanding a lot of things. We don't comprehend too many things. We'll just talk to talk, and every time we talk, we deal with something that has to do with slavery. And the more we keep on bringing slavery into the present, into the future, we're just gonna keep falling back and back and back and back. That's the history. We should learn from it. You understand? That's good.
There's different types of histories of slavery. It doesn't necessarily have to be exactly. It's just in a different form, man.
Right. But you know, I don't look at it as slavery. I look at it now as a new modern way. Look, everybody got to work. Even the president has to work. So when people talk all this other shit, it sounds ignorant, childish. Look, the world is already set up like that. No matter what part of the fucking world you go to, you're gonna have to fucking work to provide for your family. I don't care.
Yeah, but they're saying that they're paying people to stay home. That was the whole system of unemployment and,
But there you go. This is what I'm trying to explain. When the pandemic hit, right? Now, what was the first thing that the majority of blacks and Hispanics were saying? Oh, the government did this so we could kill each other. They put giving everybody this money so we could just buy guns and drugs and destroy our community. No, they didn't. Most of us think like that because it's hatred towards the white man that defeated us and conquered and colonized this shit, and they run this shit. So we speak out of anger, whatever. Everything goes wrong. It's not they doing this on purpose, but they gave everybody money. It wasn't for guns. They gave people money for food. The most important. You understand?
Or to make small businesses to learn how to take care of ourselves. We've never learned how to feed ourselves, really, unless you're an entrepreneur from birth.
People took their money, invested in guns and drugs. That's not the government for. He's giving people, not him, whoever, they giving people money that they never had in their life in our community. There's people that never had that type of money in life. Because you believe they broke, they still searching for ways to get their rent paid, going to programs, talk about, yo, I need help with my rent and this. And then most of us just jump on it that, the sister's right. You know what I'm saying? Because, we're in the black or Latino community, it's not easy as well. But they're giving you more money that you will get in some job. You have people getting a certain amount of money. I don't know what it was from some unemployment. You have people getting some type of money. And do you know what they wasted money on? Materialistic shit that didn't mean nothing. So now people today is worrying about what they were saying about the unemployment shit, about people that get it ends on this month coming. Now
it's ending September.
Yeah, now you got so many people talking about, but the people need to do something for the people in our community. Motherfuckers, if y'all was to open your mind up and learn to budget your money and budget yourself, you wouldn't have to go through all these extra worries. Yes, you will have to worry, but not as much as you got to worry. And you wouldn't have to be pointing fingers and blaming somebody. You get what I'm saying? Yes, the pandemic happened because of the situation and whatever. I understand that. But look, not every time everything is built to destroy us, to kill us. Sometimes somebody could be telling you, listen, don't go there, because if you go there, you know what I'm saying? The government's lying. Now you go there, something goes wrong, now you're done. You understand? Like, you've been warned, but you didn't want to believe. You understand what I'm saying? It's okay. You don't have to believe. It's not for everybody. But what I'm saying is the problem is us. We don't build. We do not build. You know what I'm saying? No matter where in the world blacks and Latino is at, it's self-destruction. And we blame everything into poverty. Poverty. What poverty has to do with self-destruction or being dirty and nasty and being a pig?
So there's no talk of reparations anymore, huh? So that's that. All the talk about reparations should just stop. It should just cease, right?
I don't know. I think it was a game just to get people excited about something that's never going to happen.
And I mean, you got people also who was smart enough and took that money that the government was, I forgot what I don't know, man.
Yeah, the stimulus.
The stimulus, yeah, that shit and a whole bunch of other shit. They took it, they invested it into things. The majority of us took it and just blew it. But now
they want you to put it back into the community. That was the goal of giving the money. They knew that 50% of them would give it right back. And others would invest and others would do things with it. I, again, have never had an issue with what's been going on. And I've tried to help people and they didn't seem as though they wanted help. But like you're saying, our communities are not strong enough to keep anything going. There's no, traditions. There's no values. There's no morals. There's no concept to understanding. If you're raising your children and you have a certain value that you're putting into them, nowadays, Friendly, your children are excluded from things because they're like, why are you acting like that? But my mama raised me like this. So those values and things don't really apply to us Americans anymore when we should have that. Like, we were raised by the community, and I remember community activities. I do know, like, the recreational center will bring people together for fellowship, but I would like them to bring us together for like meetings on, is everyone doing okay in the community? Is there someone that needs help? Is there something that we could do to help each other right here? I mean, I'm always going to the food banks or, trying to help people. But my situation with what we were talking about, I just want to pull this back up. This here is a situation. Hello, cousin. This is a situation that is very, it's alarming. It's very alarming because I'm not really sure if people are really understanding what this means, but this means that we as the people will not have a decision or be able to decide if we can give our children or, that. Right, I don't want that to have to come down to, I can't get in the store or I can't have something because I haven't had the vac. That's just like another thing, like, with, colored signs, only the coloreds can do this, only this can do that. Like, where are we going with, these issues of, if you don't take the vac, are we going to divide?
But listen,
the issues,
Janet.
I'm sorry, give me 1 second. We're talking about, does our votes count? Do you think Biden's going to make it to 2022? And vac or no vac, are we being divided? And how is this helping our community, basically? So go ahead. I'm sorry. What were you saying?
I'm saying, but my thing is that, do you believe that people was free once in this world? Do you actually do believe in that? Because I don't believe no one was ever free. People was always captured in some type of way. People was always slaves from the beginning of time. That's how it worked. Just think about it. This all been going on from the beginning of time. Controlling, people, like, as how the government is now. People was being government before in different form of ways. So this is not something new, So what the fuck is that? It's nothing new under the sun. You understand? So you know how many people was forced to take stuff back in them times? It's the same shit. It's nothing that has changed. If you think about it,
welcome, sunshine.
We've been governed since the beginning of time, whether through religion or stuff. We've been governed. Slavery always existed, no matter what. And
you were given mandates and governments and the same existing government and the same existing constitution. Your constitutional rights were created by your government, right? Including your Bible.
Right.
You do know that.
All that has been written by men. It's not like you came into this world and this is what God put in a planet and these are the rules we have to follow. No, these are stuff that was made by man, human beings, and it's been like that from the beginning of time. So when people,
made by angry, sadistic, narcissistic people.
It's just been like this for millions of years, thousands of years, however. It's been going on for. It's nothing new under the sun. It's just in a modern way, in a different form of way. But think about it. All this been going on for centuries. It's nothing new. Disease and all this other. It's been going on for centuries. People think that we were free and all that. None of us was free back in time, in the beginning of time. I don't believe nobody was free. No matter what people want to say about Africa or this, that, nobody was free in Africa from the beginning of time. There was always somebody controlling something, whether the village, however you want to consider, somebody was in control of something. Somebody called the shot. Somebody make a decision if you live or you die. That's been going on.
Can I say something real quick?
Yeah.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. Okay, so I wanted to kind of piggyback off of what Friendly is saying, but it's on the topic of unemployment. Thankfully for me, I have a career. So I'm a school teacher and also a part-time professor. So my careers were not impacted by the COVID. COVID-19 or the pandemic, whatever. But I know that a lot of people are getting unemployment and it's fraud. There's people that still work and collect it. There's people that never received a job. I mean, they never had a job before, and they was able to get the pandemic unemployment. Well, if you do some research, you'll find out, and this is just a little jewel for anybody that's listening that may, be getting the unemployment. If you do some research, there's states that's already doing audits and they're taking the money back. So your taxes will be garnished. Your checks, if you do start working, that'll be garnished. So
look,
yeah, I just wanted to let everybody know that.
That's deep right there. That's good information right there.
Yeah.
That's really good information. So what could we do to make anything better? We got to stand together. These vaccines and stuff like that, I really don't know much of it. I don't know. It's bad enough I don't know my home. I didn't even on a vaccine. I have no clues. That's secret. That's like, that's something that the government dealing with. You think we're gonna have the right information about the vaccine? We could sit here talk about and be like, yo, the vaccine this. They put this. Oh, they put the virus in it. They do. We could sit there and talk about it, but we have no clue. We're just driving ourselves crazy speaking on something that we don't even know. You understand?
You know what's driving yourself crazy? You thinking about it. That's how the mind works. The government controls your mind as well as your thoughts. That's why I said earlier that there are laws and there are rules and there are regulations that these people, the elitists, have put people in position to have you think what they're thinking and not what you're thinking. You're thinking, oh, I need to take this virus because if I don't, I'll die. You're gonna die regardless.
No,
vaccinated or not.
I got vaccinated. My family got vaccinated. We got vaccinated. We said we're not guaranteed if this works or not. Remember, we already know when we went in and we went for the vaccination. We already had it clearly in mind, knowing that this is not a cure. You understand? This is just an experiment. You understand? We got that clear. We understand that. The government is not controlling my mind. I just can't dwell on and make up conspiracy theories on a vaccine that we don't even know for sure what it really is or what it's about. I could tell you though, this is an experiment. You understand what I'm saying? Would it work or would it not work? I don't know. Would it work for some? Would it not work for some? I don't know. But we just took the chance to do it. I didn't do it because the government said you have to do it or else you die. I just said, you know what? Let's give it a try. Remember, we all been vaccinated through since birth. You understand what I'm saying? You got all
the measles and the mumps and everything else.
We all been vaccinated, and those was all viruses, just like the COVID. Everything was a virus, so they came up with a vaccination for that. But you know what I'm saying? These are just chances you could take on your own if you want, whatever. But now it comes to the government now forcing people. I understand the difference. And now it's like they making you do something against your will. I understand that anger right there. But we can't say it wasn't a vaccination because we don't even have no clue. We can't say there's magnets in there and all this. We don't have no clue. Most of these people just do say. Like I put some stuff. I seen a video because this lady put some stuff on her arm to where she got vaccinated. I did that and it happened the same thing to me, but I understood it was gravity. I did it before I got vaccinated. You understand? So I was like, oh no. So this just adds up to conspiracy theory. People see this, they follow it, and they start believing it, and they'll think that the vaccine has some type of magnets and everything there that attract certain things. But I figured out it's gravity. It has to do with gravity and stuff like that. But I did it before I got vaccinated. So I was like, oh.
Have you noticed the people that actually had a cure, a modern, and not have, the
peace and blessings.
the modern medicine, not have to create modern medicines a pill
for cure.
just for cures and stuff like that. You notice that they're not here anymore.
Oh, that's
Or
a fact.
they've been excluded from America. If it's not based on the Food and Drug Administration, if it's not government based, just like everything else in this country, it's not certified. You can't certify this stuff because it's not approved by Food
All right, well,
and
I
Drug
got something
Administration.
I want you guys to look at. States announce vaccine mandate in government employees. Mandate
He's
means
reporting
you
that the US
have
has
to do
high
it or
community
you're
transmission.
losing it.
62%
So when I
of
told
counties
people
reporting
that it
major
was going to
spread of
be
the virus, and as the
mandated
Delta variant
and they didn't
surges,
believe me,
local governments
here we
pushing to get
go.
more
Let's
people
watch this for a
vaccinated.
second, guys.
Dan Abrams, Dr. Richard Besser standing by to talk about the legal and medical implications after this report from Eva Pilgrim. Good morning, Eva.
Good morning, George. With a growing number of cases of the Delta variant, officials are scrambling to do something to tamper it down. With lagging vaccination rates, we are now seeing new mandates in some workplaces. Either get the vaccine or undergo weekly testing, or don't get paid.
This morning from New York to California, the first vaccine mandates for government employees. Officials trying to crack down as cases of the Delta variant climb. New York City announcing it will require all city workers, including public school teachers, get vaccinated by mid-September or face weekly testing.
It's quite clear the Delta variant has changed the game. This is about keeping people safe.
The city warning that workers who don't comply won't get paid. New York
See?
firefighters
Taking your
union
money,
vowing
take your
to fight the new
livelihood.
rule.
We stand firm that a non-FDA approved vaccination is a personal choice.
In California, the governor mandating vaccines or weekly
Exactly,
testing for
Steph.
state employees and 2 million healthcare workers. And President Biden announcing the VA will mandate vaccines, the first federal agency to do so.
Veteran Affairs is going to, in fact, require that all docs working in facilities are going to have to be vaccinated.
This as pressure grows for mandatory vaccines for healthcare workers. More than 50 major medical organizations,
Pushing it so
including the
hard,
American
I don't
Nurses
even want it.
Association, calling vaccines an ethical obligation.
We want to wipe out this, this virus as quickly as we possibly can. And as healthcare providers, it is our responsibility to protect the health of the public.
As public health officials battle vaccine hesitancy across the country, the FDA is now asking Pfizer and Moderna to expand their trials in 5 to 11-year-olds to include more children in hopes of better understanding any potential.
I'm going to stop right there, guys. I have to welcome my co-host. Welcome, welcome.
What's going on, Lock Nation? What's going on, Friendly?
Salute.
What up, though?
Not much.
So, sir, I went on here because you know me and my nosy self. I went on here to see if I could find any information about Sleepy Joe, or does our vote count, or how people are doing with this jab or no jab controversy.
Yeah.
I told people that it was going to be mandatory. People didn't believe me, and now you come in here just to confirms that. Even Emperor Shadow has shared with me some information about, like you said, we on Lock Nation, that the NFL is making it mandatory. And now we're seeing that the government workers, it's mandatory. So if you don't take it, you're going to lose your job. Is that fair?
No, it's not fair. I think Americans should have the right to take the vac or not take the vac. It should be a choice.
It's again, you're talking about government and government jobs and government positions. You forget you still have at least 10 or 100 million people living on this planet who, quite frankly, some of them agree and some of them disagree, and they want all Americans, including people from overseas, vaccinated. But they're going to have a difficult time having to convince people of that. It's going to be a major war. It's going to be a major war. So not everybody's going to be agreeing with this, because you're taking away pro-choice. Right. You're taking away human lives. If people don't want to take the virus from it, but people are, like I said, it's a fear tactic. It's a fear. It's a mindset tactic that people in this country, just because white people are fading into the wilderness, they're just faded into the sun and dying off, and you getting other people. You getting people from here overseas taking over and having interracial sex with one another, and white people are fading off. And it's like, wait a minute, hold on. We got black people here, you got Mexicans, Latinos, and all these other people, but where are our people? White people cannot reproduce black people. Only black people can reproduce black people. So if you have a black person and a Asian person having sex with one another, you're still gonna have an interracial person there. They're not white. It used to be in this country where still in this country, people are saying that the white man is pure and all this and all this and all this. It ain't pure no more. It ain't pure no more, because older people are fading into the wilderness, because you have all this and all this, and you have children endangerment, stealing all types of. I don't want to gross people out, but
guys speak.
but again, it's a fear tactic, y'all.
Yeah.
It's only a fear tactic to get you to take something that you particularly don't know really what it can do, but I know what it can do.
It's only been out for a year, right?
It's only been
something that's been made in a year.
That's a perfect thing you just said, bro. That's the perfect thing you just said. How is it that you have a cure for the cocoa, but you don't have a cure for HIV?
Right.
You don't have or herpes, syphilis, and I almost forgot. Black people were an experiment for syphilis.
Yeah.
And
in the war too.
And the war too.
Yeah.
Black people were on the front lines. So it's stop watching the news.
I know, but it's hard not to watch the
shit.
news, right?
You know what, Jay? They got cures for everything. They just don't want to pump it out here. They've been had cures for HIV. They've been had cures for cancer and all that.
That's why
who had the cure? Shadow. Who had the cure?
From the beginning of time, this world always control always existed. Somebody always made a decision if you live or die. There was always someone from the beginning of time who made a decision. Should you live or should you die? You know, that's always existed. You know what I'm saying? Like, even right now, they make a decision whether you live or die. You understand what I'm saying? This has been going on for years,
that's the slavery we were talking about.
It's these pharmaceutical companies.
Yep.
Who had the cure? Who had the cure, Shadow?
These mad scientists. They got it.
Yeah.
I want to know if you know. I want to know if you know, Shadow. Who had the cure? No. I want to know who had the cure for it. I'm gonna give you one name. I'm gonna see if you know.
Oh, I know what he's saying, sir. What is that man's name?
He died though. He got killed.
I know.
You mean that black doctor? Yeah.
Dr. Savvy.
Yes.
Dr. Savvy.
They assassinated him.
Yep. In the jail, they did it. They did
Hello.
it. I used to watch him. I was faithful to him. He's the one that helped me alkaline my body. He's the one that told me that that vegetables were antibiotics and that we needed to eat our medicine instead of take pharmaceutical.
He had the cure for HIV and AIDS.
He did. He cured like 13 people. He cured 13 people in Africa, and on his way back from these missions and his documentaries or whatever, they trapped him and arrested him, and that's when they killed him. But he was on a mission to go around the world and give people his regiments. I have the regiments. I try to give them out to people, but they don't listen because they think that doctor was crazy, but he wasn't crazy. He had it. And that's why I believe what you're saying, Emperor Shadow. There is a cure for everything that they make.
My wife is a RN. She's around doctors 24/7.
Thank
right?
you for coming.
So let me tell you something like this, Jay. I can't say what she told me behind the scenes about what's going on in the hospitals, but
Sure.
You'll be surprised.
You'd be shocked and appalled. I want to go back to this and then we'll speak on it, guys. And then Shadow's having a live coming up right after mine. So if you guys want to go over to his channel and check out his content, we'll talk about it in a minute. But just give me a second, guys. I want to see this.
Rare side effects, like the heart issues seen in older patients, like 16-year-old Noah Hires. He was diagnosed with acute myocarditis after getting his second shot.
It was really unexpected, though. I would have never thought that something was seriously wrong.
His mother saying his symptoms have already resolved. She thinks parents need to know what to be on the lookout for.
I would still say all day long, you know, the children have to have the vaccine. I think the more information that we can give to just make sure we're all well informed and we know as parents what to watch out for. And it seems minimal in comparison to what it could be, the tragedy that could come if you didn't get the vaccine.
And it's important to note that these complications are extremely rare. Now, as for when we can expect to see the results from these clinical trials in younger patients, Pfizer telling the Washington Post they haven't changed their timeline. They are expecting to have their results for 5 to 11-year-olds in September. As for Moderna, they are expecting their results sometime in winter 2021 or early 2022. Michael.
All right, Eva, thank you so much. Joining us now is Dr. Richard Besser, president of the Robert Wood Johnson Foundation and former
How did he
director
get
of
on
the
here?
CDC, and our chief legal
I don't
analyst,
know.
Dan
Yeah.
Abrams. But Dan, I want to start with you and the legality.
He's been the
of
host
vaccine
on there.
Mandates.
Oh,
The cities
okay.
can mandate teachers
Yeah.
get the vaccine.
Oh, so
but
that
they
show,
mandate
yeah.
kids at the public schools to get them also.
So typically this is done at the state level. In most places, you would need the state legislature effectively to say, we are going to require vaccines. So far, no one's doing that. Now, the difference here between the typical vaccine, measles, et cetera, is the status, right? Is the fact that this is what's called emergency use authorization as opposed to full FDA approval.
Look
But
at all
we're
these
talking
guinea
about public
pigs.
schools.
I
Remember,
know.
in
He's
private
scared as
schools, they've
hell.
got a lot more autonomy to do.
And that's the thing. Like, I just don't do needles. Needles. Shut up, friendly.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, like that.
Yeah, I don't want no needle. I don't want that stuff in my body. I don't care. Like, I don't want it. Pineapples.
Yo, y'all gonna when that shit happen, you're gonna see people hiding and they're gonna tell the kid, shut the fuck up, TV, everything is going off. They're gonna act like Jehovah's Witness knocking on their door.
Hey, friendly. So what you got coming up next? You got the UFOs and the aliens. Watch what I tell you. They're gonna say America is being invaded by the Martians.
We're gonna need a back for that too.
They're gonna knock on your door. They're gonna be like, yo, don't answer that Jehovah's Witness.
Yup. All right, but let's get serious. What if the government comes to your door in black army trucks?
Yeah,
black
that's what I'm saying.
outfits?
People's gonna be hiding from them like they hide from Jehovah's Witness. You know how they knock on your door? They're gonna be like, don't shut the fuck up. Don't they niggas don't.
Janet,
Yeah.
you play a clip real quick. I'm gonna watch this movie tonight. My wife was telling me about it. Her friend told her. It's called Songbird.
Songbird?
Yeah.
Songbird, yeah. I seen it. It's dope. But when you watch it, yeah, we could just talk about it later.
Songbird. All right, let me take a look. Songbird. It's a movie, huh? Oh, okay. It's a thriller. Let's see. Oh, here. Okay, I got it. All right, let's see. Oh, it went to another. Hold on. Give me a second. Okay, so what had happened was it flipped off the screen, so now I have to go back and share another screen, so bear with me. So this is a movie. We're going to have to watch this movie, people.
So what y'all think? Y'all think that the situation is going to get worse, or do you think?
Oh, it's going to get worse.
Good morning.
It's going to get just like this movie moving forward.
Just here right now.
Watching this movie.
Sunday.
Curfew is now in effect. All unauthorized citizens must stay indoors.
Yep, look at this shit.
Tensions rise as we enter the
About a thing.
week of lockdown.
This is going to be our theme song, just like I Am Legend.
Has mutated.
Thermal scan normal.
A horrifying new development.
Look, We Unlock Nation said it. Scanning off your phone. There they come. They're going to come for us. Look. You're going to have that.
All infected Americans.
Or you're going to have to be with Empress Janet and Empress Shadow. We're going to be the resistance of 2022.
Department of Sanitation.
Sarah, talk to me.
I think my neighbor has a fever.
It'll be so much easier if you just open the door. Mrs. Grant, you have visitors.
Told you. I dreamt this, though. I dreamt this, friendly. I keep telling them. Father's talking to some of us, and he ain't talking to others. You should be asking why the universe is not talking to you. He's telling me there's a code red. They're trying to change our DNA.
You must not attempt to leave your home.
And then they'll do this. You'll be shot on sight. And who you think they're going to shoot first? It's to you.
I know you're in there.
That's right. Bob Marley's soul is with me, honey. He said, let's do this. The revolution is not going to be televised.
You know what he told you? He said, I give up.
That's right. We got to stand up and fight. That's what he said. He said, get up, stand up for your rights.
I'm trying to save the one person left in my life.
Why do you think they show you movies like this? You think this is just a movie?
I can't help you.
They're telling you what's about to happen to your ass. And you're like, oh, that was good. It could have been better. Why she looks so pale? You'll be all right.
Remember, stay safe, sane, and sanitized.
That's right. Stay safe, stay sane, and stay sanitized.
This is the same guy, Michael Bay, that made Transformers. He made a movie like this.
This is awesome. I'm going to watch that tonight. Shout out to Songbird, guys.
Yeah,
we got to get with it or get gone.
Fire stick. It was the okay. What the hell?
Yeah, that's what's happening right now, friendly. That's what's going down. And the crazy part is I dreamt this.
Listen,
I dreamt the destruction.
Always gonna control. We can fight all we want, fuss and fight and complain, and they're always gonna control. You understand that the government is
they're not gonna control me
and do what they want to do. You understand?
That's why you gotta have your guns. You gotta be ready for war, man. You gotta be a soldier in these streets.
Yeah, but the thing is that I agree with people should have their guns, but the thing is that we're not, our people in the community not having guns to protect themselves. They just have guns just to prove a point nowadays, you know. And I think back in the beginning of time, everybody had a weapon, everybody had a spear, everybody had something. But I don't think people were killing each other the way people are using the weapons now. I think the weapons before was used more responsibly. You know what I'm saying?
This is why the blacks and Latinos should go to the gun range, get a license the right way, learn how to shoot a gun, own a gun legally. You get what I'm saying? This is the main reason why.
I don't know how to use a gun. I don't know what to do.
The thing is, the people are not responsible with it. You know what I'm saying? You got look in our neighborhood. A lot of people got guns. Like, trust me.
Well, out of chaos comes order.
There's a lot of guns, but the only thing is they're not responsible. You get into an argument, that's it. You want to grab a gun and shoot. And that's not what the purpose of having a gun.
Well, that's the new school. That's not the old school. Yeah.
So how are we going to do that if the people are not responsible? And then the older people, the older guys are not even teaching the young kids, saying anything better, like how is this going to work? Like how we're going to make it work? Everybody else is preparing themselves, but how are we going to prepare ourselves when we can't even get together and comprehend something simple?
Well, we got to find a way, Friendly, because as you see, they're trying to make this jab mandatory.
Yeah.
Okay. And it's going to get to a point where you got the SWAT, you got the military, all the police departments, they're going to form the New World Order, right? We all know what that is.
Right.
Right.
It's
and they're going to come knocking on your door. They're going to, go around in their little tanks with the flashlights and shit. And they're going to make you go out, get out your house. They're going to take you to these FEMA camps and they're going to threaten you to take this jab, you and your family. If you don't, then you're not going back home. You're going to stay in that FEMA camp. They're going to keep you locked away. That's what's coming.
And even in the word, Friendly, it says that it comes at night, not in the day.
Right.
You don't have to worry about 12 in the afternoon. You have to worry about night. So even the word tells you. And even as I am a third shift person, Father has done what? We all stay up at night, don't we? And we all sleep in the daytime. Why do you think we've been we're changing our program? Something's going to happen at night where we're going to have to fight for our families, our children, our lives are going to be. It's going to come down to that, Friendly.
I always been up, always late now. I always been a person since a young kid. I always was. So I don't think it has anything to do with it now, but, so that's just always been me.
Well, that's just you. But a lot of us have changed. A lot of people have noticed that their sleep patterns are off. People can't sleep because of anxiety, Friendly. So we're worried, and a lot of us aren't worried. A lot of us, again, show comfort to others in hard times. So my reason to be up at night may not be the same reason for you to be up at night. Right. But again, we're all up at night. And then again, where sleep patterns are off because the universe is doing things that, again, some people can hear, some people can see, and some people can do both, and others will never know. So they want the ones that don't know. They want to take them first. They take the weak, then they hurt the strong, and then they attack. And they put something out there, like we on Lock Nation said, fear, and everybody's fighting fear. How do you fight fear? With love, with understanding, and trying to understand, like you said. New York is the most dangerous place to live. That's what I've heard. That's what I've been told. I don't know because I don't live there. But with your examples on what you said about the guns and about how they took their stuff to do what they had to do to protect themselves, and you said it's getting more dangerous. Okay, people live like that, and then that's normal to them. There are some people that leave their doors open. They don't know anything about, war, fighting, going around, arguing with people. Like there's just like this beautiful community, right? Those people will get attacked, and then they live in fear now. And that creates what? In our society, we don't look at that because, again, we know going outside, we got to look behind our back, our neck, and, everywhere around us. So how do you bring people, like Shadow said, how do we bring ourselves together to have...
It's going to have to take more tragedy, Empress J.
I said that. Yeah,
it's going to have to take more chaos, more death, more tragedy for people to wake up and come together.
Because people are too busy
not paying attention.
Exactly. You notice they're not trying to pump that jab in the rich communities with the white people. They trying to pump it in the ghettos. They trying to make the blacks and Latinos take it.
I think everywhere in America and society should have their own choice to decide what they want to do. They never gave a woman they never said a woman couldn't have the chance to decide if she wanted to be pregnant or not. So some people argue about that. Okay. So there's always something to argue about. But I totally agree with Friendly when he states that if we get rid of the police, there's going to be more chaos.
Yeah.
But could I state that if we as African Americans, Latinos, or minorities would step up to take those jobs on, could we not help change that?
Exactly.
If you want police in your neighborhood, then be the police. Quit saying that the police is bad. Quit saying that you're not going to help them.
Look, it's like no matter where in the world you go to, there's police. You go to Africa, there's police.
Exactly.
You go to some parts in Africa, okay, they may not have police in certain things, but they live still by laws, rules, regulations, tribal. You understand? So, like, that always existed. So, you know, when people ask for no policing in the community, we could do it ourselves, I get angry hearing that, because I'd be like, bro, you can't even take care of your own kid. And you're talking about no police in the community. Your kid is being a terrorist in the community. You can't control him. You understand? How you going to protect me, my family, or anyone else's family? You understand? If you can't even protect your own kid. You understand? Or they keep, you know, that's just my problem. Like when people say that, I think that's way beyond ignorance. I don't mind little conspiracy theory. Yeah, we all learn, you know, to see where how far our mind go and how open, you know. But with things like that, that's really closed-minded. You're asking for the purge. So basically, you're asking to be it's basically wanting to do what the fuck you want to do. Don't worry about it. Somebody kills somebody, we'll handle it. We'll figure it out. But who's going to do that? Nobody.
That the government, you know, what you ask for, you know what they say, be careful what you ask for. You know what I'm saying? I guess this is something we was asking for, not we, but people was asking for, and now it backfired. Now we got to eat that. You know, now you got people who are hardworking people, you know, out there really getting hurt. You got more elderly people now getting hurt.
Yeah.
You know, and there's not much police could do about it. And it's sad. Like, police now are like, if a security guard was
from the local business where they work at, he cannot chase you outside. He could only try to grab you from while you inside. Once you walk out that door, if he chases you, he's a liability. You know what I'm saying? Now he's like, he may not be covered. You understand? That's basically what police is now, security. So when people be like, yo, but why didn't you do anything? You were standing right there. Cop be like, dude, you broke the system. You asked for this. I can only get involved if it's somebody if it's a life and death situation. But that you can protect yourself with that. That's crazy. You know?
Well, look, there's a way to avoid, because when it comes to the police, there's a way to avoid having police harass you or whatever the case may be, because not every officer does that. As a matter of fact, I know too many officers who really say it's really giving them a bad rap. But if you, but this is what people need to be trained on, especially the youth. If you have a warrant out for your arrest, all you have to do is cooperate, don't say anything stupid, and don't run. Do not run. And if you get caught, say you get caught with a speeding violation. It's just a speeding violation, and they say they want to search your car. You have to know the specific laws that say you are not in position to search my car, by a way of learning how the law works. It's just like the Bible. It's just like the Bible. You have to go, let's like you go Bible for Bible, you go law for law. You have to train young kids, and especially today, how to cooperate with the police. If they're not being cooperative to you, guess what? You have a cell phone. You can call another officer. You have that right to call another officer to aid you. but you cannot run. That's what there's psychologically. Again, psychologically, nobody teaches you psychologically. Be mind sounding.
Mm-hmm.
Have a sounding mind to not run when you are. Listen, you're going to go to jail for a couple of hours. Your bail might be like $150 or whatever. You on your way. You're on your way home.
A lot of people
But people who run get scared and get shot.
Exactly.
Because there is a limit. I will give you an example. The sheriffs came to my house 2 days ago. They are not, and it was so crazy, guys, because I had just lit the blunt, right? And I heard somebody knocking. They didn't use my doorbell. So I ran down the steps, whatever, opened the door, the blunt's right in my mouth, and the sheriff is right there. Yo, I could show you my hand. I took right there. You see that? I put the blunt out in my fucking hand. Like I just grabbed it out of my mouth. I'm right there, immediately threw it down, like threw it behind the door and was like, how can I help you guys? And they didn't ask to come in. So I was ready to step out because you should always step out, never let them in your house, right? So he didn't ask to come in. They didn't ask to come in. They were like, does so-and-so live here? And I said, no, but that's my child. I said, what's going on? I'm the mother. And he said, no worries. He said, we're not here to arrest him, but he does have a warrant out for his arrest. And so he began to do his spiel. And when he was finished, I then again stated, what is he being, what is the arrest for? What is the warrant for? Then he explained what the warrant was for and said, could you get in touch with him so that we can take care of this? He said, the court said to bring him down, to arrest him. The gentleman said, I am not going to arrest him if you do this, this, and this. I said, sir, thank you for giving us the opportunity to do this, this, and this. I immediately got on the phone with my son. I immediately did, I don't know if it's the hood thing or whatever, but I just went right into like, son, the freaking, they're here for you. Why didn't you take care of this information? Like, I'm going through that with him on the phone. I'm like, look, this is what they're going to do for you. I'm going to need you to get on this phone with the FaceTime, because I had him on FaceTime, and speak to these people. They are not going to arrest you, son. Like, I had to comfort my child that he was not going to be arrested, that he had to walk through these 3 steps that they said we unlock, like you said. So when he got on the phone with them, he did exactly what mama told him, and they did exactly what they said they were going to do. They made an arrangement to come to meet him at my address, because that's the address they had. So even when the time was coming for them to come back to meet my child, I'm on the phone with my child, like, you need to get over here. And then I'm telling his brother, because you are your brother's keeper. So I called his oldest brother and said, get your brother over here, because if he does not comply with what he was told to do, he's going to go to jail. And he did show up. He did come. He did what he was supposed to do. And from there, he's still a free man. So in a situation with officers, you need to stay calm and you need to let them speak, and then you respond. Because I was shit nervous. Like, I'm not going to lie. And then I even said to him, like, yo, I got a medical marijuana card. He was like, I'm not even worried about that. I was like, ugh. Like, so the whole time I'm afraid of something that wasn't even real. He didn't care about the weed. He didn't care about nothing else. He was doing his job, and he did his job on the strength. And both of them were Caucasian. They both stated, we are not here to arrest him. We have the choice to. We choose not to if you do these 3 steps. So I don't know if everyone gets that chance. I don't know what they go through when they're going through that moment. But I will tell y'all that it was the scariest moment, because my child's going to go to jail. If we didn't follow these steps, he could have went down. So mom jumping in saved him, because he's not old enough to understand what really happened, and he would have ran. He would have instantly ran. And that's not because my child is a criminal. It's just because he's never encountered any officers before in that manner, and he wouldn't know how to deal with that situation.
And Janet, you're so right about that. I agree with you 100%. But also, I want to let people know, and like, I'm not sure if it was Lock Nation who said they have like no people that are like in the police force. But me growing up, I wasn't the best kid in the world. You understand? I can't say that, oh, the cops are perfect, they're great. Look, I had experienced racism with police officers growing up, right? One time, my first encounter with police that I consider racism, my mom had sent me to the store early morning. I was suspended from school, so she sent me to the store to go get milk, bread, cheese, and all that other shit, eggs. You know, at that time, she had gave me wig. She gave me some wig. So I go to the store. Now, at that time, I'm living in a white community. You understand? Which is in Ozone Park. Back in the days, it was all Italians. So it was rarely Spanish or black kids, period. It was rare to see that. So one morning, I go to the store. As I'm walking back, walking out the store, I'm walking back, but I decided to go down the other block to just walk down. I had a white police officer on the scooter make me put my bags down, put the cuffs on my hand, and then took another set of handcuffs and put it between the two cuffs and tied the other part of the cuff back of his scooter, right? And dragged me for a block. At that time, I told my mom, yo, mom, you could sue. He violated me. And my mother didn't really did anything. You understand? My mother didn't do anything about it, and I was really upset and angry about that. But that was the only encounter that was racism with a white man that was a police officer. Now, I also got in trouble with other police officers, and the worst ones were black and Latinos. I'm just being honest. From my experience, see, everyone's experience is different. You understand? I've been caught in a situation where they let me go. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. That nigga let me go home. Get out of here. This nigga's dope. I had issues with the law.
I understand.
Even the correction officers while you locked up. The blacks and the Latinos, I experienced the worst with them. They treated me like shit. Like they don't know where I come from. Like they don't know what it is to be with somebody that come from where I come from and be hungry. Yo, can I get some more? I done heard the most dumbest shit. You understand? And now that if you use a certain word, now that people will expose you, or now social media. But before there wasn't no social media. So the shit I heard from black people itself being told to me. I'm like, bro, you racist? Word? And I talk shit right back. But the dumb shit I heard from black people that are officers? Shut the fuck up, fucking Puerto Rican kid. I'm like, what? This motherfucker. Or he think he gonna be eating rice and beans here. I'm like, yo, this dude is really wilding. You understand? I experienced that with black people. I experienced it with Puerto Ricans too. You know what I'm saying? Look at this fucking Puerto Rican guy and shit. Or look at this Dominican nigga acting like he's black, this fucking piece of shit. Yo, I experienced that. Motherfuckers would not speak on that. You understand? But I experienced that shit with my own kind of people. I'm like, yo, this is crazy. You know what I'm saying? So racism comes from not even racism. It could be prejudice, like you said.
Prejudice, yeah.
You understand? Because I don't know if that officer that cuffed me to the back of his scooter and dragged me for a block, I don't know if he got black friends or not. He probably do. You know what I'm saying? He just chose to be prejudiced with me. I have no idea. I don't know what was going on. But that shit, I experienced it with every type of people. for different types of people of different types of culture. I experienced that. You know, and one thing is, I must say, I want for Black people and the Hispanic, the Latino community, stop saying that we being this and that and the third. Encourage your kids, influence them to be police. Try to encourage them to be a lawyer. If you talk all this about the vaccine and you have kids, well, try to encourage your kids to be scientists and all that. So now the people that assume these conspiracy theories and how the government is doing, now our people could be in there, could know more. They can make a decision also. You understand? It's like we don't have enough of our people in these places because people don't reach hard for that. You know, let's forget about who's going to be the next Michael Jordan or who's going to be the next Kobe Bryant or the next LeBron James or who's going to be better than Reggie. You know, let's forget about that, trying to build that, and let's get people to get in these real type of field. You know, that's very important. You don't want police, all right? Influence these kids. They could be a cop, they could be a detective, they could become a part of FBI, the CIA, they could be anything. You gotta work hard, you gotta push them. You know what I'm saying? Most of us don't encourage those kids the kids to go in those type of route, you understand? Or you could be a truck driver, or you could work at the motor vehicle. Those are regular bullshit jobs that's not gonna get you really out of nowhere, it's not gonna help the community. Be a part of the community. Teach the kids to be a part of something, you know, like something that's very important that we don't have to be asking questions and we don't got no answers because nobody of our color or comes from where we come from works in that field. And if they do, it's not too many. You understand? I don't believe that they're going to, I think that we can make it happen, but it's up to us on how we educate the kids. You understand what I'm saying? Because the kids are very important. If you don't educate the kids, they get older, they become grown just like us. And if they didn't learn anything, they stuck, they're going to be dealing with the same shit we dealt with or maybe worse. We need to encourage these kids to do something better in life, to become part of something that's really, you know, that means something that could really help out the community, the people, you know, because people don't want to get vaccinated. People don't believe in it because for whatever issue or whatever thing, we could sit here, go on Google, what does this have, what's the ingredients, or what. We could do that all day, but nobody of our race, our color is coming up with the vaccination. You understand what I'm saying? So encourage your kids or grandkids or whatever to become scientists and stuff like that, you know, to explore, you know, because we're wasting a lot of time just trying to build more LeBron James and more Jay-Z's. Like, come on, man, that's entertainment. We're not going to get much of entertainment because we've been used as entertainers for so many years. You know what I'm saying? We've been entertaining the world. You know what I'm saying? Like, try not to just focus and, being a movie star. There's so much things people could do that could help out, you know?
Well, welcome, cousin Stevie J. This is We Unlock Nation. We've got Friendly up top, and then my co-host Emperor Shadow.
Hey, what's going on, Stevie?
We need lawyers. We need doctors. We need judges.
You're on mute, cousin.
We need more of that. We do need them. You know how there's more white cops in the Black community. That's because Black people not influencing their kids to be cops. All Black people's talking about don't fuck with the police. You know what I'm saying? Don't be a snitch and this, that, and the third. So how your community is going to get any better? The same thing as for the Latino community. Oh, don't fuck with the police. Stay away from the police. Don't even say hi to the cops. You're teaching your kids to hate a cop, an officer. And you don't even know that officer could be the one to save your child's life. Or you might need them in life one day. You understand what I'm saying? Like, this is crazy. And then we asking for something that's never going to happen if we don't become a part of it.
I totally agree. You know, like, they have good cops, they have bad cops, man. Every cop is not bad. Every cop is not out here to kill you or arrest you or choke you. You know what I mean? They got a lot of good cops that's here to protect us. I totally agree with you, man.
So, you know, it's all us teaching hatred, you know what I'm saying? Because of a history, we need to influence and teach our kids to be a part of something. If we don't do that, we're going to be talking shit all day, and we're going to be the worst race in the world because we're always going to be broke. We're always going to be depending on the government. People will talk about, fuck the white man. I hate the cracker. And this, that, and third. I hate following rules. But check this out, my man. All this shit you talk about the white man. You know what? You should appreciate him. Why? Because I know he's wrong, but still, at the end of the day, he's the one that takes care of you. You know what I'm saying? The majority of people talk about they hate the government, right? But check this out. He's paying your rent. He's taking care of your kids from birth. All you did was streets, made money, and that's it. Probably took them out to a restaurant or drove around the neighborhood. Your whole life with your family been based on living off the government, but you hate the government.
Yeah, I don't understand that. You know, all these pro-black people, right, Friendly, they say, I hate white people. White people won't give black people reparations. White people put black people in slavery. The white cops are killing our black children, right? But then again, you wearing the white man's clothes. You wearing the white man's shoes. Right. Everything you got on come from the white man. The water you drinking come from the white man. The food that you eating come from the white man.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? So how you gonna hate the white man?
Card and do all your food shopping.
Everything in life comes from the white man.
The government just fed you.
Everything.
And you ain't
may I interject?
Yeah, just let me see if Stevie J, are you still there, cousin? You want to turn on your mic? Hi.
Yeah, I'm here.
Hey, do you have any opinions you would like to share with us?
I'm just listening right now. I'm gonna let him go who just spoke. I apologize. I don't know your name.
Nation.
Oh no, ma'am. Go ahead, ma'am. Go ahead.
No, sir. Go ahead, because I want to hear your interjection, please.
Okay. Here's my interjection with all this. When you talk about pro blacks, I don't even know what the hell that word means. I just heard it one day: pro black, pro this, pro that, and there are some, and I would agree, there are some pro blacks that take this woke shit too damn seriously, and some of them are worse. Some of them need to go back to fucking sleep. But there are those, and you can't ignore the fact there are those in the community, especially those who have been doing the work for 40 plus some years. Dr. Claude Anderson is not a pro-black. He is somebody who has done the work. He is somebody who's put in work and has talking to the government or about putting in our own black economic base and stuff like that. Just like the Chinese have their own Chinatown. Right. Asians have their own Chinatown. Taiwan has their own Chinatown. He was trying to put in something that will actually work and be competitive. See, we go to work not to be, to uprise who. Let me start over. We don't go to work to outstage anyone. We just go to work to better ourselves, to one day compete for those particular jobs, and to one day compete with the Asian and the white power structure. But some mess it up for everybody. And some are skeptical and don't want to put their money where their mouth is, to say, hey, maybe we should actually follow this person and see where it goes. No, but don't complain. Don't complain when other people, when one person wants to better a whole community, and we're just thinking of crabs in the barrel mentality. Right. It's all crabs in the barrel mentality. And as far as the white man putting money and food in our bellies and stuff like that, I will have to agree to disagree with that, my man, because you can learn to grow your own crops. You can learn to grow your own food. You can learn to educate your people as long as you want to. You don't have to have a whole community. You don't have to have 100 people agreeing with you. All you do need, however, is for people to at least agree on specific things that need to get done. And once you have those specific people to agree with the specific things, like are we going to put this in the actual, or we're going to put the money in this actual bank, or we're going to trust in somebody to do what we ask them to do? Are we going to build an infrastructure for ourselves? Are we going to build the hospitals? Are we going to build the grocery stores? Are we going to build schools for our children to learn? Because obviously the educators don't want a Black educator to teach our Black kids about Black history, or how to assign your checks, or how to sign a check. I know a person who can't even sign their own name.
Wow.
And he's a millionaire.
Wow.
He's a millionaire. But I understand what you're saying about the whole pro-Black stuff. But then again, you can't exclude these certain people for wanting to actually do the work. That's it. That's all.
I agree. But my thing is, like, if people are gonna speak on a white man and this, that, and third, get a job.
Exactly.
Educate your kids and make them work hard. Be what I'm saying? Be a strong person. You understand what I'm saying? Listen,
I agree with that.
We live in a country that was taken over by them. You understand? So think about this. That's like, let's make it as if Bloods was to take over. If when the Latin Kings was in New York, there was one of the biggest gangs. Okay, and then the Bloods came in and made an impact and took over the streets. You understand, with the gangs. Do you think the Blood, to be a Blood and knowing the history of the Blood, is they're going to teach, being a Blood, they're going to teach you about Latin Kings or anything? Latin Kings was here first in New York. You get what I'm saying? So do you think Bloods is going to teach you about the Latin King if you was to be a Latin person that became Blood? No, they're going to teach you about Blood. So this is my thing. This country was taken over by the Europeans, you understand, and stuff like that. And they're not going to teach us what we want to learn. You understand? They're going to teach us what they want to teach us. You understand? In order to survive in this country, the way this country operates and moves, they'll give you a little basic stuff, but the rest you want to learn is going to be on your own. So, like let's say, like, if you in Puerto Rico or anything else, they're not going to teach you about America. They're going to teach you more about the land where you're living at. You understand what I'm saying? So that's what I look at it. So there's things we're going to be asking for and looking for, but at the end of the day, it's a diversity country. You have all different races in here. You understand? In this country, no matter what it is, you got so many different people from from every part of the world in this country. You have so many people. So at the end of the day, I don't think they want to sit down and teach people Black history all year round, because if it would be like that, they would have to teach people about Dominicans or the Puerto Ricans, or they're going to have to teach people about Asia all year around. You understand? And America don't want to do that. If they feel like, if that's what you want to learn, you go back home and learn that. That's their way. You understand? They want to teach you the American way. You understand? Like every country, they teach you their way. They of how their country rule and the history of their land. You understand? So these things, sometimes I understand when people be like, yo, but I just don't understand when people tell me, oh, how they dropped out of school because it wasn't getting enough Black History Month and all that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you shouldn't never dropped out of school for that reason. You know what I'm saying? Because you only have Black History Month for a month. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Like, so, when you hear people speak like that, it's crazy because people are dwelling on things that's never going to happen. You understand what I'm saying? It's not going to look right. They just teach in school all year round about Blacks. Remember, you got Latinos and you got other people too that want to learn about their thing. They just don't want to hear about Africa and you know, and all these other places. You know, they don't want to hear about that only. They're going to want to hear about their kind. So the white man going to teach what he want to teach. He's going to teach you how he robbed and stole and took over and control. You understand? That's what he's teaching you. Anything else that we want to learn, we got to hit the books ourselves and educate ourselves in those type of ways.
I totally agree with that.
That's why there's books,
well said.
There's libraries and all that. So
yeah,
like my cousins, I mean, I don't know my own history myself, but I got cousins that could tell you the whole history of Dominican Republic and Haiti. I got, from my Puerto Rican side, I got cousins that could teach people the history of Puerto Rico and the Taínos and all this other shit. Like, they are really deep in that. But you know what? They didn't learn that in school here in the States of New York. You know, they learned that by reading on their own. You understand? That's why reading is very important. You understand? If you don't teach your kids to focus on an education and to read, how you expect them to educate themselves when it comes about learning about their culture or to know where they come from if they can't read? That's why reading is very important. That's why I say education is very important. You understand what I'm saying? There's going to be a lot of things we're going to fight for in this country, and we're never going to get it because this country is not based on just for us. It's based on for them and them running it the way they're supposed to run it. You understand? They're not going to teach us about the Native Indians all year round. They're not going to teach us Black History Month, Black History the whole year round. They're not going to teach us any of that all year round. You understand? So it's up to us to try to educate our kids and our people more. You understand? That's why I send my kids to school every day, and I'm hard with my kids when it comes to education. You understand? My son has more knowledge of me when it comes to being book smart. You understand? But you know why? Because I'm hard on him, and I make sure I'm on top. I just don't go by, how you doing? I sit down, how was school? What you learned? So tell me. You know what I'm saying? He'll talk to me about anything. So how did you come up with the answer? You know what I'm saying? Or how did you figure that out? I speak to him. I open his mind. I make him study before anything. I make him work hard. Tell him, you got to earn all this, man. It all will pay you off in the long run. Today, you feel like it may be too hard for you. Tomorrow, it'll be easy for you. You know, that's what I tell him every day. It is more other people could do that and do that with others in the streets and get together. Yo, we could do better. You understand? Because remember, it takes a village to raise a child. You understand what I'm saying? So if the other people put their input and start focusing, we could do much better. But the biggest challenge right now, us as parents, you could do your best. But as soon as your kid walk out, you have to worry. You know why? Because somebody else might mold them into something negative. You understand what I'm saying? While you're trying to teach them something positive and make sure they have a better future, you know. And we all need to get on the same page.
Exactly.
You know?
I totally agree. But
you know,
I feel like that we're all under attack, every race. You know, you got the New World Order coming, you know, with this jab. And it's not about Black, white, Hispanic, Oriental. It's about human beings. It's about human life. And until we figure that out, how to all work together against this, then we're all doomed. That's the way I look at it, you know. So we all got to stick together and try to get ourselves out of this shit. We got to find a way.
Stevie, did you have something you wanted to say? And sir, you've experienced some racism with you being Black and Cuban, right?
Most definitely. But I experienced it from Black people. I haven't experienced racism from white people. I'm not going to sit there and lie to you.
Right.
You know, a lot of people want to say that white people are racist against Blacks and they hate Blacks, whatever. When Black people have this mentality, they can't move forward in life. You get what I'm saying? That's why the Black race is like number 5 on the list of all the races. They never can achieve anything because they call the white man enemy. The white man is not the enemy. Every race that come to America has equal opportunity. There's no excuse. You don't hear Russians and Germans and Africans coming over here complaining about the white man. I'm just saying. You don't hear the Middle Eastern people coming over here complaining about the white man. It's nothing but black people that's doing that. Why do you think every race is successful? Why do you think? Because they're loving within their own communities, right? And they don't sit there and bitch and complain about the white man 24/7, holding them down. They just do the damn thing. Right. That's why they're more successful in life. That's why they have money and businesses and all that, because they're not going back to the past. They already know their history. They know where they come from. So when they come over here, they want to make a new life with them and their family. They want to make a legacy. You get what I'm saying?
Definitely. And that's what's important that we're missing out on. And no matter what race or religion you are, you want a legacy of humanity. I want my children to play with Friendly's children. And I would want my children to play with your children.
Let us fucking play with your children, or we're gonna have a problem.
Right. Or we're right. And I feel like that's where we need to be, Friendly, instead of, Xing everyone out on every situation. And right now it's really the jab and the no jab. What if they tell you that your child cannot go to the store or your child cannot play with people if he doesn't have that jab?
That's coming. It's going to be mandatory by the winter.
What if the children are on the playground, Friendly, and they disown your child because they say to your child, do you have the jab? And your kid's like, no, I don't have the jab. And then they all run away from him.
So Empress Janet,
that child's going to feel?
I love
Empress Janet, what is that going to start?
I'm going to get back to you with that. Go ahead.
What is that going to start?
A war.
A war, right? Between the vaccinated people and the unvaccinated people. This is what the government is trying to start. They're trying to start a war on the streets. They're trying to say it's our fault that the Delta is spreading right now, which is a lie. It's a government lie. It's a conspiracy. People need to open up their third eye and see through all this bullshit that's going on. Don't fall for it.
Educate the kids, man. Teach them, make them and open their minds up. I hope they become scientists, but they could become doctors and find a cure for these things that we complain about, we talk about. That's the best thing we could do. You know what I'm saying? Just teach the kids and let them know they could do it. You understand? It's up to them. You understand? But it could be done. Look, this country was run by 3 different people. You understand? At one point, and the Europeans took over. You understand? So why can't we take over maybe one day? You know what I'm saying? It took time, and it's going to take time, but we must educate our kids. It starts off with the kids. We got to start educating the kids, and the adults need to be more responsible. Like you just said, son, that is very interesting. Like that, it is really dope. You said, do you have the jab? And your kid says no, right? I feel about that, about education. When your kid is not educated and all he knows is just having freedom and being outside and not into reading, and all he do is play video games and watch YouTube and music, hip hop videos and all that dumb shit all day, every day. When he surround himself with other kids and he starts talking that nonsense, these other kids that's into books and into something that I don't want to play with that kid. You have to teach your kid to, you need to teach education to your kid, because when you don't have no education, you're like a dead body. You stink. People don't want to be around you. You understand what I'm saying? Like nobody want to be around an ignorant person who's going who don't have no knowledge, no education, no nothing. A person like, perfect example, like when my wife had just graduated, got her GED not too long ago, right? I think I said that before on one of the live, right, Janet? My wife graduated, got her GED. All right. Now we around not only white people that's educated, but we're around black people that are educated, got scholars and all that. So you have one of our type of people, a black female, talking to these other people about how she broke her arm. She got into a fight. She was getting it on and popping. Like she talking to a nigga in the streets like a regular street person. I realized at that moment they ignored her and they walked away from her. They shit. And they went to the other people who was talking about, you know, how happy they were, you know, to have their GED and their plans and what they wanted to do now, what type of jobs they could get. I realized that they focus on those people, then the people just talk about, yo, in the hood is rough. You got to be fighting. So I was like, that right there fucked her up. If she goes anywhere with that, she's going to lose opportunities and everything. Because nobody want to hear none about violence and none of that. People really want to see where you're going. You know what I'm saying? How far are you trying to reach? How high are you trying to go? You know what I'm saying? And she fucked it up for herself there. I seen her energy, and when she went and told the other girl, oh, these people, they bougie and all this. But it's not that they bougie. These are educated people who don't want to talk about problems. You understand? And that's the separation right there. That's become a war with us.
It does.
That when we see that there's people that's educated and we try to talk that shit because we're not educated in that type of way, and we start talking some things, even though we may be cool and we have no intentions of harming them, but it's just the conversation we deliver and we giving the energy. They don't want to hear none of that shit. All right, just shit. And they move away from you, and you could lose out a big opportunity just for that. You know what I'm saying? Because people don't want to hear nonsense and ignorance. You understand? So that's what happened with kids. You might feel some type of way if you see another kid just walk away, or their parents call their kid pull their kid away from your kid. You see, to you in the normal life in the community, how we live, it may be normal to see your kids do certain things and you're like, how they kids. But in other people, they look at that, that's not acceptable. That's unacceptable. He must know, you must teach him responsibility and all that. And that's also another war. You understand? So for us not to feel like we left out, let's educate. Instead of promote negativity, let's educate. You understand? That's what we need to do. Educate. You know,
I feel you on that, man. You got to be well educated and you got to be street smart. Let's not forget that. If you're not street smart, you can have all the book knowledge in the world, college degrees up the ass. But if you're not street smart and you don't know what's going on, you're gonna fall.
Oh yeah, but you know, a lot of people.
You gotta be even out, bro. You gotta be even out. Yeah,
that's true. But a lot of people don't even think about being street smart because that's never their intention. Their intention is to move up forward, be successful, maybe be on this, be a part of corporate America. You know what I'm saying? These big industry and all that. Some people don't got time to be like, I need some street smart. They be like, fuck all that. I already know.
How are you going to survive when a new world order comes? Is education going to help you then?
But these are people.
I'm just saying.
No. But what I'm saying is, but once these people got what they want, the rest is relevant. They got money. They could pay people. That's like war, the government. How you think they control us to go overseas?
I'm talking about regular people on the streets. I'm not talking about government.
Oh, but that's what I'm saying. People don't care about the people in the streets. Like I got cousins that they have no street smart, but they book educated. I have a cousin the same age as me. We used to both do the same thing. Growing up. I chose the wrong. I made a choice, and she made a choice. She just bought her third house. She's 42, just like me. You understand? She's only 3 months older than me. She's 42. This is her third house. Born and raised in a low budget community. You know what I'm saying? Like straight up, like poverty. You know what I'm saying? And she made it. You think? She has no street smart, but she doesn't care about that because
you gotta care about it, friendly. Let me tell you why you gotta care about it. What happens when the grid go out? You know what the grid is, right?
Nah, explain.
The power grid.
Okay.
What happens when it's food shortages or when there's no more water? How you gonna survive? That's being street smart, right?
No, that's just gonna.
That's nature.
I look at it. That's gonna kick in. You know what I'm saying? Regardless, that moment that will kick in. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't speak on that type of stuff because I don't want to always bring negative energy into the world. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of things we be talking about like that, it may never even exist. You understand? Like,
it exists.
No, it may never happen. I mean to say. You understand?
It's coming.
It could be, it may not. You understand? But what I'm saying is, people are not worrying about the grit. People are thinking about living. You understand? And being comfortable and enjoying life for as long as they get to live. You understand? And pass on whatever they could pass on to their loved ones.
And that's cool. I respect where you're from, friendly. You know, me and you are totally different, man. I'm getting prepared for the big war. I'm getting prepared for the end of
And I believe it. I believe that the NWO is already here. I believe that what Friendly's saying is a good point, that we all do want to just live our lives and we want to be okay, Friendly, but we're not okay. No, and that's what they're doing. They're making us not look at what the left hand's doing. And that's a street game. You know that, Friendly. I know that. And so does Shadow. But how many other people know that when the left hand's doing something, the right hand's tricking you to do something else?
Exactly.
Right? But you just know, you said it before, because this is one of your slogans. Never let the right hand know what the left hand is doing. You said it yourself.
Yeah, I got that from old school. That's what old school used to tell us. They said the left hand's doing one thing, but the right hand's always doing another. And again, we all know what that really means. But so I have education, I have a master's degree, and honestly, I don't like that slogan when I'm thinking of these educated things. I want people to be more informed. I want to give you the answer. I want to help you. But if you've never had the education that I have, then you're not going to understand what I'm saying. So that's irrelevant if there's no water or gas, there's no food. Because now we have to kick into our survival, and my survival is better than my education. So do you see how that's a double-edged sword, Friendly?
Exactly.
No, I understand.
Survival is basically being street smart. It's the same thing.
You know, if there's no water, it don't matter what type of survival skills you have. No water, you're not going to live. So don't even think about you going out there doing this to survive. It's going to make any difference. At the end of the day, it's like a movie. It has an end, and your end will come. There's no water. You know what I'm saying? Like, you need water to live. You understand what I'm saying? And if you don't,
so let me ask you a question.
People automatically gonna die. You could kill 1,000 people. Your day is gonna come next. There's no food. You know what I'm saying?
No, but there is food. There is food. It's just I know how to get it. But exactly, you can eat plants. You can eat berries. You can eat like worms. You can do whatever, Friendly. But like, let's give the example with the water. Okay, there is water in the mountains. There is water out there, Friendly, and nobody has to pay for it. It's free flowing. So if we could teach people how to get out of the city, get to the country, get to where that water's running free, yeah, we could teach people to get their own water, bro. And we could teach people how to filter it. There are very, educated people that will come into play on that. So
in a tax-paid country where you get taxed, you could work your whole life and spend $8 million on a home. Now, if you can't maintain with the tax, if you can't keep up with the taxes, because God forbid any type of health issues or anything go wrong, that property is taken from you. That's why it's called the land of opportunity. You know what I'm saying? So it's opportunities for everybody, and people that come here are opportunists.
Well, let me ask you a question about this. You buy a $600,000 house. You pay the taxes on your $600,000 house. But you don't own the land to that house.
Exactly.
They can still take your $600,000 house. Exactly. We need to teach people to buy land.
You're just paying to live good. You understand? That's all you're paying for. Nothing is ever yours in this country. You understand? This country wasn't built for you to live off the land. This is not like Dominican Republic, Cuba, or any other country like in the Middle East or Mexico or Africa or Haiti. This is not a country built like that where you could live off the land. You can't just grow crops and stuff like that and go out there and sell. You understand what I'm saying? This is not what it's for. If it was like that, you know how many people will be making money, growing their own yams and all that type of stuff? But this is not a country built for that. You understand what I'm saying? This is a country where you're gonna have to do business with them, and you're gonna have to work with them. It don't matter what we do or what we say. This is a business. This is a country based on business. You understand? This is Not a country where they're gonna be like, okay, you could live off the land. You cannot live off the land in America. That's not what it's about. That's why they
I
make
have to agree to disagree because I'm
But-
from the country and we lived off the land. I, as a child, never went to the grocery store. I never had a TV and I never went to the grocery store, and I ate every day.
Right, you could grow some things, but it's limited.
We did,
You can't
and we
market
sold
it.
them to
You can't
others.
go market it. You can't go sell it. Somebody report you to whatever. You in trouble. You could either get fined or whatever. That's what I'm saying.
I understand. Yeah.
You cannot grow it and eat it. Yeah, you could do that. Plenty of people do that. You know what I'm saying? But when I used to grow squash in my backyard. Yeah, I could do that. But what happens if you wanted to put a market out there and have a vendor and start selling fruits and vegetables and all that and make it make a living out of it? You can't. You understand? If somebody reports you, you're in trouble. Look, you can't even go to the way. You can't even go get things at wholesale price and go in the corner and sell oranges as a retail price, because you're gonna get arrested, you're gonna get fined, and your stuff is gonna be taken. It's not you have to have a license, a vendor license to even sell anything. You want to open up a business, you need to have a license. You need to have inspection. This is what this is not a country where you could just do that. My brother went to Dominican Republic today. If he feels like it, he could go over there and just start selling burgers out of a little cart out there, and nobody could give him a summons or ticket. But if he was to do that over here, he could get fined for that. You understand what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. Like, yes, I understand what you're saying, but this country is not to live off of. You know what I'm saying? It's not for you to live off the land and build. They took that from the people. They took that. From when they came here, they took that. They took tobacco, everything, all the survival skills and everything. They took it from everybody and turned it to a business. You know, you think they're going to go back after they killed so many people to just be like, you know what? You could live off the land. That is hard. Remember, they make money off the people every day. You understand what I'm saying? We're having all these rules and all these laws and all these other shit. That's how America maintains, by fucking people over. That's how they live. They
I
fuck
could
people
agree.
over all the time. You know, like there's no other way to look. You can have somebody work their whole life, and there's people that done lost their homes that they couldn't afford to pay the taxes after a while. You know, and they didn't have nobody that ever cared about them. They was probably the only ones left in the family, and they backed up in taxes, can't afford to pay it and everything. And it gets taken. They don't care. You 90 years old, you know what I'm saying? You're about to go in any moment. No, they're going to make sure you get evicted out that place and take the property. Before you die, they're going to let you know that they have control. They're going to let you know that we took it. Legit, legally. And there's nothing you could do about it. That's what it's built for. This country is not built to be on our side. It don't work like that.
That right there, I'm going to stop you right there. The country was not built to be on our side. So all my life, they've done nothing for me. They have not helped me. And now all of a sudden, a vac is supposed to help me? I'm just saying. All my life, I've been in the system. I have been through hell and back with the system. They did nothing to protect me. They did not care what was going on in my foster homes. They did not care about me as a person. I was a number. I was a letter. I was whatever they needed me to be until I was able to do for myself. When I turned 18, I said, F y'all, and I was out, and I've basically been taking care of myself since. And in those motions, I've never once believed anything someone's told me with this government stuff, because I never felt like they helped me. They never looked at me and said, I'm an innocent child that was taken from her mother, and here we need to help and protect her. They put me out there. They solicited me. People in the system hurt me. My own adopted mother lied on me. And so to me, Friendly, I'm broken somewhere where I just can't believe everything that's being told.
And you know what?
Welcome back,
a
nation.
lot of us is broken, and we tend to blame a government.
Well, I don't blame the government. I blame the system. I blame the system that was put in place for children who can't protect themselves. I was 5 years old. So from 5 to 18, the system did not work for me. I'm not blaming them. They just did not help. Now the system works for me because I take it upon myself to do what Nation said. I look into the law. I have a bachelor in criminal justice because I wanted to know what my rights really are. I wanted to see how people's rights were being taken because all my life, you know what they told me, friendly? She can't speak. She's underage. You don't have a right. Sit here as we decide your future. One time they told me they were going to sick me in some system program because I didn't have any parents. It's like basically they throw you away in this little group home for orphans. I got so angry, friendly, I jumped out the bathroom window at the courthouse and I went on the run. So I ran from 12 years of age to 18. It was to the point where they had to lock me in shackles when they took me places because I would jump out the car and just run. I had nowhere to run, bro, but it was a lot better than being locked up in this system that kept telling me that they wanted to help me and that I was the problem. I'm biracial. I don't know what color I am because my adopted parents are white. People are telling me I'm black. Black people are helping me on the street in that situation that I did put myself in because I chose to run. And was it right or wrong? I don't even give a hoot no more. I, as a person, believe that you should question everything.
Exactly.
Question me. Question my motives of why I want to be your friend or why am I giving out advice. Question why someone always comes to your panel, but then they come to your show, but you never go to their show or vice versa. Question why people are saying you're not good enough if you don't take this jab.
Right. But you know, like you said, you blame the system, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You say the system failed you. But you can depend and rely on the system. Remember.
But I had to, friendly. I was
underage. I understand. You as a child, you don't know no better. So you think you're assuming, oh shit, I'm gonna be good over here. They're gonna help me. But then you see how things really work, and you be like, this is not for me. This is not what I'm expecting. What type? You know, I understand that. But look, the system failed you, right? You say, but also the people who's supposed to be responsible for you from the beginning of birth failed you. You know what I'm saying? So you can't just blame a government. Look, the people who bring people to this world sometimes fail their own kids. You understand? So if the people that gave birth to you and the person who made you, you know what I'm saying, turn their back on you, you know how hard it is for someone to accept someone like that in the streets? I'm going to be honest with you. People use people's struggles for beneficials to profit off that. You understand what I'm saying? Like, for instance, and like Black Lives Matter movement. That's a movement that whatever happens in the community is beneficial for them. You understand? Because it makes them money. You understand? Do they really care, the majority? No. Do most of them know what they're standing for and fighting for? No. They just follow a movement. But who get rich? The founders. Those people get rich. What about the other people that's out there fighting for you guys? You understand? And standing with you guys. Nothing. They get nothing. Nothing. You know what I'm saying? They failed their own peoples. You get what I'm saying? So it's like when you say the system failed you, sometimes you got to look at where you come from.
The system failed my mother because my mother, being a Caucasian woman, her family decided her fate. And because her baby came out the wrong color for her family, yeah, the system failed my mother because they should have allowed her and tested her to see if she was a good enough mother. But they didn't. They took me away from her Because the family said something about
exactly, because the people itself within that bloodline, that family, that tree failed. That root or that branch broke. You understand what I'm saying? So sometimes you gotta wonder why did that branch fall off? Was it getting enough water? Was it being treated right? You know, in order for a tree to grow nice and strong, you have to water that tree. You have to take care of it. If you don't take care of the tree, what's going to happen? It's going to fall.
And that's what I feel like we've done in our own society. If we don't take care of each other, if we don't start loving each other, we're all going to fall dead to the wayside. We're all going to be fighting each other for no damn reason, and we're going to miss the point.
We need strong-minded people to lead this war against government. Government is the NWO.
Always going to fuck us over.
So we need to stick together. We need to stop worrying about race and all this childish bullshit. And we need to start getting our guns ready. We need to start learning how to plant vegetables and fruits and, you know, gardening and all that stuff, how to survive in the wilderness, because the NWO is coming. I keep telling people this. People think it's a myth. They think it's a lie. But
I
they're
pulled
coming.
this up. I pulled this up. I want you guys to take a look at this. Say goodbye to meat in 2021, guys. Let's look at it.
Today, we're going to be talking about something that's going to be happening in the near future. My friends, it's time for you to say bye to meat. Because the New World Order agenda, those dirty bastards, want to take away our meat products for good.
They're already doing it.
That's right. It's all part of a New World Order agenda to take away meat. My friends, they've been hinting, and not even hinting, they've told us straight up we're not going to be eating much meat in the future. This whole Great Reset, which is the New World Order that they're implementing, they've released videos saying in the future you won't be eating as much meat. It will be more of a special occasion than an everyday thing. And of course, they're just telling you that for now, but you're not even going to be able to eat it on special occasions. Why?
Because you're going to have the jab.
Get this. Because of global warming. Because the cows are farting too much. I'm not even joking. Bill Gates said this himself. You could look it up yourself. Bill Gates, cow farts. Bill Gates sitting there saying it's a problem, the flatulence coming from the cows.
I don't like him saying that man's name.
Animals. We got to cut down on the meat because eating meat now is bad for global warming and climate change, which we all know is a hoax. It is a New World Order agenda.
I love him.
Oh, can't eat meat no more. It's bad. But guess who will be eating meat? The New World Order globalist elite. The global elite. Oh, they ain't going to quit eating meat. You better believe that. They'll be chowing down on their steak and everything because for the rich people.
Yup, sunshine. And I am. I'm a vegetarian. And Father told me that. The universe told me to slow down and start using things that I could only need.
Oh, when we eat meat,
gluttony,
that's
greed.
The world from climate change. But if Mr. Bill Gates and friggin' Jacob Rothschild want to eat a cheeseburger, they're going to eat a cheeseburger. They don't care.
And I'm going to stop that there because I just don't like those names being thrown out. Those names will get me hit. And that's how dangerous it is, guys. Like those names that he's saying can get you hit on your channel because there's something serious going on that they don't want you to know. They just want you to believe in them, believe in what they're saying, friendly, believe that we have to sit around and argue about it. Like, no, we don't. We can, respectfully and dignitely have opinions and then try to understand where these other people are coming from. If you took the jab, I'm not mad at you, but don't judge me for not taking it. Because I'm not taking it, friendly. And if they stick us in camps, if they take us from our homes, friendly, and we're all stuck in this camp, is this when they're going to believe me? Is this when they're going to stand up and want to get crazy?
No.
Well, when are we going to do it then? When are we going to stand up and say and question Just question what's going on of why do you feel that we have to do this? You gave us some important information today, right? So we're going to go back and research our investing. Oh my God, is this really you, John? You gave us some
The man, the legend. Hey, what up?
The legend is here. Woo!
Hold up. What John is that? What?
John?
What?
Yes.
No way.
I know, right?
Shut up.
I heard y'all talking about previous subjects, so you know I can't know that.
We're going to get a DJ right now. What a DJ at? Yo, DJ.
Yo, is you watching this, Josiah? As you watching this, this is a chat person that has never, ever come to the panel. I am honored.
Fucking live show. He could tune in. This must be crazy for him.
Yo, John has got some shit he going to explain, John. Go ahead. Wreck shop, John.
Hey, what up, Josiah? Man, if y'all want to understand the New World Order, you got to understand like where it came from. You got to think about, if you look at every single president, if you look at their speeches, they're all saying the same thing. One New World Order. George Bush said it. Jimmy Carter said it. Obama especially said it. Matter of fact, Trump like the only one I never really mentioned that. He like the only one because he was never one of them. He was never one of the program. He was not supposed to win.
Nope.
And you got to think about the New World Order. You can't just think about Republican and Democrat. You got to think about it as being bigger. You know, you got to think about these organizations. So you got to watch what you say. You got to watch what you say on social media because you know the AI like to censor stuff and pick stuff up though. You know, but as far as the jabs go, no, don't do it. They are not vaxes at all. They are bioweapons. Yep. You got to think about where they came from, though. You know, they came from the lab in Wuhan. What did Dr. Doom's email say? They said the same thing. They said the same thing. They came from, you know. And you got to think the whole public, they're all lying about it. They're all believing in the lies for the longest, though. Then all of a sudden, you're allowed to say on Facebook where it came from. I remember being banned for saying that, though. Like then right after that, all of a sudden you could talk about it, though. I didn't get reinstated or nothing, though. You got to think about the Illuminati as like they control all the information, you know. So now they're attacking our freedom of speech, our First Amendment. And once they attack that, they got to the Second Amendment. Right. That's why I was never about gun control, you know. They take away the guns, then that's it. If you look at every single country where they took away the guns, you look at Mayo, you look at Mayo in China, you look at Germany, the Jewish, look at Venezuela. Even look at South Africa. Look what's happening in South Africa right now, you know? They take away the guns, that's it. But they like to trick us with stuff like gun control. Everything, all their agenda, if you notice, you got some dumb lefties standing for it, rioting, burning down cities. Hey, have my mic on? Hold on.
Oh, yeah, you're fine.
Basically, what he's saying is what I said. Love it. Don't you just love this information? Don't you just love this information? Don't you just love it?
I love
People
you guys.
are so afraid.
The universe is so amazing to allow this. I swear I only wanted 30 minutes of content, and yet you guys were just so amazing humans that.
I mean, that's what it is, though. Like a lot of people don't know this information. All they see is black versus white or Christian versus whatever or anything else. They don't see the bigger picture.
That's all. That's just all news. That's all Fifth Estate.
Like
that's
Janet
all just a Fifth Estate.
Trying to do a 30-minute thing. You think that was going to happen, Janet? No, because you brought people in around the table, sat down. What you was going to end the conversation, leave the question and all that? No.
Oh yeah, and by the way,
what they call that when they get your information on social media? What they call that? What they call that? What's the name of that?
Sabotage.
No, it was something else. It's with a D. It was with a D.
The funding.
No, it's not. You know what I'm talking about.
Depopulation, darling.
Oh yeah, and by the way, you know you can get rations and they can last for over 10, 20 years, right?
Yeah, you
can. many rashes as you get, you could put it in your closet along with your generators, along with your flashlights, and please save your bullets. Please save your bullets.
Water filter generators.
Yeah,
Water
I
filter
said that.
generation.
You better learn how to survive without gas and lights because it's coming 2021. Watch what happens in the new year. You don't think those movies were made for a reason? You didn't see the destruction? Even Emperor Shadow said it. If they're mandatorily making you do something up in the higher positions, why don't you guys think it'll trickle down to us?
How do you think that? How do you think this?
Wait, what happened? Where'd he go? Oh my God, don't take my John. The robots are taking you.
Hey, how do you think the CIA, how do you think the Simpsons are always able to predict stuff? Because the CIA goes to these Hollywood production companies and they give them scripts. That's why they're so accurate and everything.
Yep. I saw a documentary on that, John, that they want to tell you the secret. So they want to tell on themselves because they feel that we're stupid and we're not paying attention.
Sometimes it's not them telling on themselves, but sometimes they're like sometimes
they're making sure they're hitting your damn mic. Good Lord. Do y'all see this?
Yeah, sometimes it's like they're laying out like the blueprint and the documents like for their minions. Like this is the game plan. This is what you need to follow, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes like the truth will just hit in the plain view right in front of us. Because everything we see what's happening now, they already talked about it. They put it out in the open. Like this ain't no conspiracy theory. You can't call it that. A conspiracy theory would say like the jabs work. That's a conspiracy theory right there.
Right.
That's a conspiracy theory. The jabs work. Remember what I told you? You're gonna need another jab, then another, then another. And now I've seen this video where they're talking about, yeah, we only give them a sixth of their immune system, so we're gonna have to give them a jab every month. You know, and that's not a conspiracy theory. That's
You wonder why, and you wonder why they have, or they're gonna have the ability, some but not all, to take your kids away from you because. Well, let me start over about that. They're not taking your kids. They're making kids make decisions at an early age and excluding the parents because they want to give the kids vaccination shots at age 11. They're doing that with humans. But back in them days, you weren't allowed to make any decisions at all. They just treated you like an animal. They treat you like a 3/5 of a human being. But
now people don't get though. It's not just black people. We're all 3/5 now. Every single person in this country is 3/5.
Oh, and yeah. By the way, I want to ask you a question, Janet. You talking about hamburgers and all this meat stuff out of. There was 51 states, or it was 50 or 51 states in the United States of America.
50.
Out of all 50 states, how many hamburger joints are there? And in all the hamburger joints, and with less cows to deal with, because there are less cows, where are you getting your meat from? You're not getting meat from no factory.
You know, some of that's growing in the laboratory, right? Like some of that.
Or are they taking your babies and bashing them in?
Hello, darling. Welcome.
You know what? They could be doing that too. Remember that movie Soylent Green? You know, sometimes they hide stuff in plain view. You know. Remember that movie, Soylent Green comes from people, or whatever they said, you know? You gotta think about stuff like that too.
And you wonder why they're vampires.
Just because you're good and you might have morals, you can't just judge that or put that pass on them, you know? It's like in a way, we reflect what we are off on them. Just because we won't do it, don't mean they won't do it, but they do it all the time. The plague from China is evidence of that right there, you know? Nobody expected that, but here we are, you know? And they keep going on and on and on until people stand up. Until we do what they're doing in France, until we do what they're doing in the UK, until we start like en masse start demanding our freedom and our rights, though, you know, the fact that we even have to ask for our rights should be a question right there, you know.
Thank you.
The fact that we have to ask, you know, why am I asking for
saying
something
that
that's
white
guaranteed to me, you know?
And stop saying that white people got power. If they got power, who why are they losing? Because ain't nobody winning right now except for China.
It's not even an issue like white versus black. It's like them versus us. It's us versus the elite. Us versus the Illuminati.
I'm not talking about in versions of
see
color.
that, you know.
What's going on,
about
John? You
versions of
finally hit the
color.
panel up, bro.
I know.
Yes,
Let's
sir.
bring it in.
I'm
We've got
proud of you,
John
man.
in the house. We've got Slim in the house. You guys, welcome, Slim.
Thanks.
What up, Slim?
Tonight at 12 o'clock.
I already have friendlies. So let me ask you a question, Slim. You know, we're talking about the jab, no jab, feeling like people are like discriminating against us since we don't have the jab. And now we're talking about meat shortage. So
there's a meat shortage?
Yes. And
What?
we've got about 5 more minutes,
Bill
guys,
Gates-
because Unknown's going live, guys. Go ahead.
Probably because Bill Gates brought up out of farms. That probably has something to do with it. That's what I'm guessing. He buys up out of farms, and he also owns most of the meat growing in laboratories. He owns that too. That's Bill
Y'all didn't
Gates.
know that? Bill Gates own all kind of stuff. He's the one that funded
Yeah,
the
he's taking over
vaccines.
he's taking over the
Laboratory
farms.
meat. That's
of
Bill
course.
Gates.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm about to follow him on IG. I need to figure out how to own everything. I'm gonna see what he's doing. Maybe he has a
Stocks.
That's facts. I need to go ahead and get me a share in the stocks he's
And he just brought up the COVID test. Him and
Yeah,
George Soros.
Yep.
we need to do
Remember I
it.
told you the PCR tests were fraudulent? Now they're admitting it. They don't work.
There's a reason why Bill Gates hasn't been arrested yet. There's a reason why he's responsible for thousands and thousands of deaths overseas. There's a reason why he's not
He
arrested.
ain't new to this either.
How is
Look at
he
Africa. He did the same thing he's doing now. He did in Africa.
What'd he do?
He gave them polio vaccines that gave them polio. He sterilized a lot of women. He sterilized a lot of women in Africa. Made a lot of men infertile. That's Bill Gates.
Did
He was on a chalkboard writing. He was on a chalkboard writing a formula. You know, Bill Gates and his pink sweater. We need to get carbon down to zero. When he wrote the P represent population people. Like the only ideal to get carbon down to zero is we have to get rid of the P. Something like that. He said. Then the whole crowd at his menu burst out in laughter. Like,
are they
7 billion people on the planet?
No, we're at about 8 billion, almost 8 billion. And you got to think they talk about 90%. 90% of 8 billion is 7.2 billion. That's a lot of people.
And you want to get rid of how many?
7.2 billion people? 7.2 billion.
7.2 billion. God damn.
They took it upon themselves to decide that they're God. They get to decide who lives and dies. But God don't like that, though. God don't like people trying to be him. He said his glory will share with no man.
Period.
I'm pretty sure that includes the Bill Gates. That includes Dr. Doom, too.
Just say BG, guys. BG. Yeah, because his
Billy
name
G.
will get me hit. Yeah.
We'll call him Billy. We'll call him Billy G. Billy G. That's his name. Not Billy Jean, but Billy G.
Are they forced to have these jabs or whatever overseas? The ones that you said, are they dying from it or?
They are. They got more deaths than the plague, but they don't report on that though. More deaths than the whole scamdemic.
Is it mandatory to take them, or is it still voluntary? The ones who took it and died.
They're trying to make them mandatory, but they can't make them mandatory unless they want to get rid of Roe versus Wade. But you know they want to stop killing babies.
From it volunteered to take it.
Yeah, but in a way it was forced because you got to think about if you want your job, you got to get this. But then again, there are places that are starting to make it mandatory, like Governor Newsom in California. He made it so all state workers, you got to get it. Did the same thing in New York and another place. I can't remember the other place though. But it's not a coincidence. After Biden makes a speech, then right after that, you see all these states start making it mandatory for state and federal employees.
Okay, so if So you're saying they were like, they had to make a choice. So they voluntarily took the jab to keep their
Yeah, it's
job?
kind of like,
You're saying?
yeah, kind of bullying them into taking it. Yeah. If you want to work for us, you want to keep your job here, you got to get this. You show your sleeve up.
I
It ain't
just
gonna
showed
hurt.
a clip that they just said state by state, the people that work for the government have to do it. So all government employees are being
Damn.
mandatory in New York as we speak.
They have to do it or what? What's going to
Or
happen
they're
if
going
they
to
don't
lose
do it?
their job.
Well, I
So
guess I
then
won't
they
be
will
working
take
for
that to
the
court.
post office
I
anytime
don't mean
soon.
to cut you off, Nation, but the
I know,
reason
right?
they're going to lose their job, Slim, is because they said they have to do day-by-day testing. And on that day-by-day testing, if they come up and say your test comes up positive for cocoa, that means you're going to have to go home, and then you're going to have to get the vac to come back. So even though they're trying to make it look like, oh, it's mandatory, and then the ones that don't take it, we're going to like work with you. No, I just showed a clip that stated that mandatory vac is going down for the government workers.
So they skipped taking the test every day until I wouldn't have done that
And it's the
because
same test. It's the same test. They just admitted that. Remember, I was telling you about that, Janet, in the chat. I was saying the PCR test are fraudulent. It's the same. It's the same test because those don't go away till December. They said the mandate is December 2021, so that's this year. So those don't go away. That means you got to take the same fraudulent test that if you have the flu or you have the cold or anything they wanted to see, because all they got to do is dial the numbers up to make it show something. But that you got to take that same test for you to keep your job. They could just dial it up. See, sorry, can't work. You know.
Yep.
See how that works.
I know somebody that
and took
the
the
back
jab.
test. Yeah, I know somebody that was supposed to go take the test for their job, and she missed the appointment, and she called me, and I was like, "Girl, you can reschedule it, right?" Slim,
Right.
her paper came to not even 2 weeks. It was a week later. Her paperwork came, said she had it.
I remember a lady
told her she couldn't come until she got proof that she didn't have it, but she never even took the test. She was heated.
Yeah, they need to take this to court, like, because that needs to be. That's the only way they're gonna be able to,
pretty much.
They have to because that don't make any like sense. Nobody should be punished for missing a date, or and it's really sad. Prayers to, and I have
I
a
know,
lot
right?
of appreciation for people that still try to keep their jobs to feed their family. So are the people who are like getting fired because of this, are they able to get like a check when they fire? Like are they getting like, do they have any funding for people that lose their job? Or like how does unemployment
You're gonna have to go on unemployment if you qualify.
Or if, like, say you're like one of the workers about to retire, they probably like buy you out your retirement, let you retire early, something like that, probably.
Oh yeah, definitely.
You get like a check for retirement.
Mm-hmm. That's what that company did to me when they let me go. They bought me out.
Remember last year they were talking about, oh no, it's fake news. Everybody's lying. It's not gonna be mandatory. We're not gonna do no passports. That's a conspiracy theory. Here we are, 2021.
And I said that, bro. I said it, and I keep saying it. It's going to be mandatory. It's going to come down to
You can fly. You can't fly overseas without
taking
the vaccine.
Pretty much, yeah.
Steph took the vac. No, I didn't mean to cut you off, but my friend from Mutt Nuts, Steph went from Florida to Michigan, and she had to take it. And even Anthony had to take it just to get a tooth out. They forced him to take it. Not you. You're not Anthony.
He said I ain't had to take it.
I'm about to say, I had to take that shit.
Shout out to Anthony in the chat room because Andrew's on the panel. He doesn't even know his name now, guys.
You know what, Anthony? To answer your question, you gotta think about it like this. Like, all right, think of the vax as like a binary, which means it needs something else to make it to work, and a biological weapon. So it being binary, sometimes it could be something in GMO, sometimes it could be 5G, or sometimes you come in contact with somebody else, or it could just be something as simple as the cold, that triggers it. So if the food and water is contaminated,
how long does a sneeze last? If you sneeze in the air, it lasts for 3 hours. If you sneeze on metal, it lasts for 24 hours. So anywhere you go, people can sneeze and cough or whatever. Those molecules are in the air.
They better cover
That's
their
why
mouth.
it's exactly.
That's all I'm saying. They're gonna get popped.
Mm-hmm. That's why they bringing up mandatory masks again, and it's 100%. It's 100% crowded right
and that
here.
don't even work. That's the funny thing. They don't even work. Like that'll stay on the mask for a period of 30 days. 30 days. You look at the pore sizes and look at the pore sizes compared to the COVID. You're comparing like 30,000 nanometers to 0.01. You know what I mean? Like you that's like common sense though. That's like the perfect analogy people said is a mosquito trying to go through a chain link fence. You know, it just doesn't work. That's just their way. That's their way of showing power over us, showing dominance over us, showing us that you're just slaves, you're just peasants. But you look at them in their videos, you see them like in that one airplane video where the Democrats left from Texas because they don't want to vote on election laws and stuff. Though you see them without their masks. You know, every time you catch them, they're without their masks. Every single one of them, because they don't work. You know,
there's so much shit going on right now. Look. We worried about the COVID, the Delta, and we got the West Nile virus that just
I'm
came
not worried.
out. You know, so it's just crazy. It's like
what is my time to go to the Heavenly Father? It's gonna be my time to go.
That's right.
I guess
and
I
the
won't
Heavenly
be working.
Father says, "Go like this." I'm gonna die a human being. I don't need a job. Ready to
I'm just gonna build a bubble.
And all you had to do is just change your damn diet. That's all you had to do. Stop eating that meat. Stop eating that sugar and salt and shit.
Yep, I did. I changed my whole diet.
Put the food that you need to grow in your and also if you get sick,
make sure you have zinc, vitamin C, vitamin D,
colloidal silver, vitamin C. Put all that shit in your
vitamin
body.
D, which is sunlight. Your immune system. Go outside. Why do you think people were dying in nursing homes? Because they weren't outside. They weren't exposed to sunlight. You know what I mean?
Right.
Plus, it's winter though. You get less sunlight in the wintertime.
Right.
You know what? I'm gonna shut right the hell up because you already got somebody in here who's got more smarts.
No. It's good.
Don't say that though, because I'm pretty sure there's something.
I'm saying it in a good way. I'm saying it in a good way.
Yeah, I know, but this stuff that you can share that we don't know too. You know what I mean? Because something you might say might trigger something.
Because you basically said what I just said.
Well,
you
guys,
said what I just
Dylan Inc. is going live, and I'm his co-host over there, so I gotta get my butt to the finish line. He's going live, and he wants to talk about something
to the finish line.
Yeah,
I'll be over there as soon as I.
I'll go over there too.
Yeah, guys, go over. Let's support him. Let's like and subscribe. He's actually bringing another channel out called the Conspiracy Channel. So on one of his channels, he talks about gatekeepers and handlers. On the Villain channel, he kind of lets us just talk however we want to talk. And on the Conspiracy Channel, he just wants to talk about things like this. So with that said, guys, does anybody have any last words? Anybody can drop the mic. John, I'm in love with you. I'm going to need your email because you are amazing. Oh my God, he's so amazing. He sits in my chat room all the time. He's like just so awesome with the knowledge. And
It's my first time hearing him. I'm impressed.
I love him. He's amazing. And he does bring good content. He will be part of my revolution. Let me tell you.
You just gotta share knowledge though, because you gotta think. Because we all have something to learn from somebody, you know what I mean? And like this knowledge, you can't really get it from anywhere else. You can't get it from the media. You can't get it from the celebrities. You can't get it from the athletes. So we're gonna have to lean on each other and get it from each other. We the people. That's
right.
The only way this gonna work. That's the only way. That's the only way we're gonna turn this thing around. You know. That's the only way we're gonna stop them in their tracks from doing what they're doing. You know. That's the only way our children's gonna have a future. That's the only way. Is we the people.
I love it.
The government's not gonna give us our freedom. They're not gonna give us our rights. The government, you give them an inch, they'll take a mile. Look at the Patriot Act. Look at the NDAA from
Put
Obama,
his link in the chat.
We still ain't got them rights back. You know what I mean? We still ain't got them rights back.